well, just so they know that they're involved in a game of footy. Already a little bit of push and shove. Jakey Carlisle heading forward for the Bombers as we expected, but the Pies are going to make it tough for him today.
Well, here we go. Umpire Matthew Nichols to bounce the ball. 2014 Anzac Day. It's the Pies and the Bombers. Underway, right up, without luck in the air. Watson with the first possession of the game. And already a bruising tackle to start it off. Ashby it was, the man that went and got the footy. What a day. Not a cloud in the sky here in Melbourne today. Heppel overrunning the footy. Melksham, big job for him today, of course. Pendlebury, his direct opponent, as Bomber told us in the pre-game. Now ball goes forward, high ball. Keith did well to knock it down in front. Little handball by Maxwell. Not all that effective. Elliott, did he get tackled high? Yes.
And BT, straight from that first centre bounce, Jamie Elliott just sprinted down as the loose man in defence for Collingwood. Not a role we normally see him play.
Interesting there, because the Bombers put the saddle on and they were penalised. So Ross Lyon watching over in Perth. Maybe you can't have the saddle on today. We'll be watching with interest. Lumumba kicks to centre wing. So Harry O'Brien played a fair few of these, but Heritia plays his first day in a funny way. Ashby kicks to centre half forward. Chapman, Danaher, Frost, searching Swan, found the footy. Handball not great. Keith has to backtrack and finesse, and then in the end he has to kick it as far as he can. Side bottom in a one-on-one with Merritt out the back. Bagley back to Merritt. Merritt off a step. Good kick inside. Well, he kicked the first goal in his very first match as a Bomber against North Melbourne. It was the first goal of the night. Could Chappie kick the first goal here in his first Anzac match? 21 finals, 4 grand finals, 3 premierships.
Solo looks like he's taken the match up, and he might be good on the run out, but one-on-one, he'll be in trouble against Chapman, I reckon.
Well, it won't be a goal. He hooked it. It's about 15 metres out and eludes them all, and a boundary throw.
Although, Lee, I like him as a one-on-one player, and he certainly gives them what Leon Davis has.
Certainly the run. He gives them the run out of defence, but in the one-on-one marking contest, I reckon Chapman might have the better of that on what I've seen of both players in the past.
And they've found a guy there that can kick it as well. Here's Pendlebury.
Free kick, Stanton.
So Stanton, a free kick here, just 35 metres out for a hold. So this is an off-the-ball free kick here to Brent Stanton. You can see there, Joe Watson, just a piece of him. I'm not sure it was a lot. Perhaps overacted helped as well. Stanton to set the stadium alight. Bombers have had trouble kicking goals this year. Kick of only 35 metres. Looks good. It's there.
Yes, those off-the-ball free kicks. It's a matter of where the umpire's watching. There's so many bodies in the vicinity. It's just a question of if there's a little hole, does the umpire away from the contest see it? And Ray Chamberlain often sees them. Sometimes we think, we joke about Ray actually takes his stats of how many free kicks he pays. He tends to pay more than the other umpires on the ground.
Number 5 on Anzac Day for the Bombers, done pretty well in the past with Hurdy. So Stanton kicking goals, 7 goals in his last 3 matches coming in, 2 lots of 3, which equal his career high. So he gets the opening goal. And the Bombers get that important first, you would think. McCaffrey's little dribble forward. Elliott back turns. Heppel wrapped him up. Ball through that centre square. Hard to get a handle on at the moment. A clear clearance not easy, as we saw in the opening bounce. And Watson down and getting dirty.
As expected, Bruce, it's McCaffrey has gone to Joe Watson. They've decided on that matchup as opposed to Dyson Heppel.
Heppel was the 3rd man up. Beams hooked, but only as far as Hibbert. So Hibbert to switch to Gleeson, one of 3 first-year players for the Bombers today. Little kick okay. So Melksham, he's got the Pendlebury matchup, so a second disposal for him.
Short ball looking for Carlisle up forward today, and he applauds the kick of Melksham, but just couldn't wrap the Dukes around it. So we'll have a throw in here. Haven't been inside 50 yet, Collingwood, and we've played 4.5 minutes. Ryder and Grundy, nice knock to advantage. Beams just didn't have the clean hands at ground level. Now Swan has a crack at it. He too, a little fumble. Young, and the ball pinned in here by Watson.
True tackling. Thank you.
Umpire Ray Chamberlain all over it, and the pressure on these two coaches today evident. Grundy, Stanton again, he ducked under the tackle, so the umpire
The shoulder in the end.
will eventually, and Ray said, in the end.
Gee, so Stanton just sets it up to full forward. Collingwood with a number. Side bottom came across. Maxwell held up Winderlick cleverly, and then Tuvey could tackle Winderlick, and then side bottom forced to kick in a hurry, only as far as Merritt. So Essendon setting up pretty well here.
Yeah, some big wins here for the Bombers. They've played most of this game already in their half of the ground, defending really well.
Probing kick. Danaher always in the right spot.
In the square. Come round, Josh. In the square. Only needs 1 foot in the square.
You learn from that, Jack Frost. He's just too tall to allow a full reach go at the footy there. Every defender has to get their body into Danaher. Make sure he can't get full height reach.
He's only kicked 2 goals in his last 4 matches. He's just struggled a bit after that bright start. But the Bombers are away here to a good start. They've kicked the first 2. Just feel those early touches are just so important, aren't they? I mean, Essendon suddenly would be feeling pretty good.
Great way to calm the nerves, isn't it?
Yeah. They've started well, Essendon. Just that, they're at the ball. I mean, just that's a little indefinable thing for they. Clearly, the ball's been played in the first half, but they just seem like they've started with the energy, the high energy game.
And as BT said, haven't had an inside 50 Collingwood yet.
Well, you'd love this if you're Essendon, being able to kick long to just 2-on-2 in the goal square. And as you mentioned, Lee, Jack Frost there just has to find a way to take Joe Danaher's body. He's too tall, too longer arms. Can't let him go at the footy like that.
Terrific start from the Bombers. 2 quick ones here, and looks like another clearance, although ball gets on the end of it. Pendlebury have not had a clean clearance yet. The Pies, because I tell you what, the Bombers have been mauling them in the middle. Hibbert gets it out wide. Opportunity handball again. Stanton here. Kicked the first goal of the game. High footy. Carlisle's there. Side bottom almost able to clean up there, and he does to McCaffrey. Back to Tuvey. Got the 1-2 from Frost. Can he run? Chapman in the end couldn't quite get him, but the inferred pressure was enough to put the kick off. The Bombers go back inside again. Collingwood can't get clean hands on the footy here. McCaffrey's in there. Watson locks it in. And this game at the moment, all being played at the Bombers' end.
Yeah, every time Collingwood win the ball down back, they're under the pump and they're just kicking it back to that Essendon wall. Essendon getting those repeat entries. In the end, that's going to tell. They'll kick goals from it.
Watson snaring it and going and going. Well, they hurt. I mean, Ryder got over the top of Grundy, Watson onto it, and then hooking it from about 35, 40 metres.
Sheer weight of numbers there, Lee. Just the ball living in Essendon's forward 50. Collingwood's defenders just under the pump, tired. They almost feel like they've got nowhere to go. They've got no room at all, no time whatsoever.
Well, he was manned up at the stoppage. You could see McCaffrey. He gave him just 2 metres, though, Lingy.
Yeah, McCaffrey was disappointed with that, wouldn't he, Lee?
Was he on the wrong side, Lee?
Well, I think he just that Watson pushed him off, but maybe cover inside. He's a right footer, so cover inside. But really, it was really good play by Watson.
18-point lead and a clearance to go with it. The Bombers all over the Pies here early in this game. This man Stanton has been very, very impressive. Spoil here by Collingwood. And now Howlett gets to drive inside 50 again. Carlisle and Keefe. Keefe and Carlisle did well, but look where the ball is again.
There was only been a couple of stoppages. At one of the stoppages, Essendon had the extra player at the stoppage. Collingwood had the extra player back in the back 50. So I guess that gives the Essendon the best chance of getting it forward, and they're doing that really well.
8 inside 50 to 0, and the first time in 6 years the Bombers have kicked 3 goals in the opening term on Anzac Day. Ashby back, hooker, short, release Melchin to Hampel, to Ryder's got a long leg. Well, he just sits it up, kicks to full forward. McCaffrey and Watson again, still together, and a boundary throw in. So I thought Ryder could have loaded up there. He had some space. He decided to pop it up to full forward.
Have a look at the help that Essendon are giving on Watson with the McCaffrey tag. Bumping whenever they can, McCaffrey. Lumumba, Swan, Goldsack and Beams, all combining. Will this be their first inside 50? Short ball to White. Now, Cloak's got it one out. He elects to go to Young, running onto his wrong side. He can still go the one out. He senses that Cloak's there. The kick was a little too far in front. The punch from Blair, though, helped Hooker fast hands. Stanton, Collingwood's pressure now coming to the fore. An opportunity here. Witts couldn't do much with it. And now Howard, although the smothering Tuvey was good to lock it in for the Pies at the Punt Road end.
That's where the Pies are dangerous, aren't they? As soon as they can get that counter-attack, that break through the middle, get the ball in long and deep to Travis Cloak, one out. They're a dangerous footy team. They've got to generate more entries, though.
Witts, well done. Grundy doing the roving, but Fletcher was in the road. Milcham sort of hooks it forward. He just got enough on it. Back to Tuvey. Chapman, good smother. Tried to toe poke. Frosted well. Carlisle back turn. Good. Heppel. Zaharakis. Stanton been so productive. Hardingham. Watson. They flip it around. Back to Milcham. This has been terrific. Chapman on his bike. Now he looks up and he sees Pies everywhere. But this is impressive from the Bombers.
What about that handball chain then, Lingy? That was superb. The soft, quick touch hands.
Wasn't it just first options, BT? Give. As soon as they got someone out with a bit of time, he was able to use the ball by foot. Essendon have started really, really well. I know that's stating the obvious, but they're just sharp in every area of the game.
Oh, that was selfless footy. Hez Hurley presenting up. It seems almost every Essendon player at the moment is playing forward. They've had so much of it there. Kick wide to Hardingham, the boy from Kojonup in Western Australia. And we'll throw it in the bright sunshine of the southern stand side. Huge crowd. Have a look at this. This is that chain of handballs I was talking about. The quick, instinctive, intuitive give without any thought whatsoever. That was superb. Highlight of the game so far for me. Side bottom. Intercepted. Heppel. Zaharakis from almost that famous position. And their first behind of the day.
One of the matchups, I reckon Stanton's probably been opposed to Swan as the midfield. May always hard to tell which midfielders on who unless they're tagging, but certainly in that matchup, Stanton has been really influential.
Lumumba gets it as far as he can to centre wing. Hurley overran it White. Hibbert tries to bounce off. Has a second crack. Can't release it. Well done by White. Got it back. Down low. It was Young who did really well. Forced his way through. Beams on the up. Blair has to search. Bagley came across in front. Blair won the little battle. Back to ball. A cool head. Not a great kick. Young's a left footer, but he'll have time here. So Young getting a bit of it. Getting the ball inside. To side bottom directing traffic. Kick forward. Was looking for Goldsack. Hibbert. Fletcher. Good stuff by Fletcher. Brilliant. To Chappie, the two oldest players out there combining.
Yes, and the short kick finds Winderlick, one of the inclusions for the Bombers. The kick into the middle, it's always risky. Heppel made the kick look better than it was. Now Ryder's got to keep the arms free. He does, but now Collingwood pile on the pressure. They sense that they need to get some footy in their half of the ground.
BT, you mentioned that kick from Winderlick. It wasn't a good kick by him, but it was the right option. Different to the way Essendon played last week against St Kilda. They went backwards and slow. You can see Essendon's intention is to take the corridor, take the game on as much as they can and move it quick.
Perhaps the side bottom kick was a little cute as well. This time Chapman had not much on, and that's going to be a really good result for the Bombers on their half.
Yeah, anyone who thinks modern footy is just these rolling balls is not been to some of the games I've been like. This is just a game that's flowing. Essendon are playing quick and getting rewarded by playing quick.
On his own wits, but Chapman read it best. Well done, Beams. Beams kicks to about 60 metres. Hibbert front spot. Not easy sometimes. I know front position best, but Goldsack bearing down. Hibbert to Fletcher.
We saw that matchup then, Bruce. We've spoken about already. McCaffrey v Watson, both coming to the bench. Looks like McCaffrey's got the instruction that every time Watson takes a break, it's his opportunity to get a rest. That's really important as a tagger. You don't want to get caught out in the ground too long while Watson's having a rest himself and you're ending up spending a bit of your petrol, BT.
So no help, he'll get the whole game on him, Lingy?
I reckon he would. Yep, I reckon they're happy with that matchup at the moment.
So Elliott going back, and that is a really dangerous kick. He's kicked it so far back. Winderlick and Maxwell. Still Winderlick and Maxwell, and now Keith. They've conceded so much territory here, and the ball up. Wow.
Was that a strange decision, that one? That was a strange decision to go backwards to a contest. It's one thing to go backwards when your teammate is clear and he might be able to play on.
I'm not sure he saw the defender. Danaher got a positive knockdown. Now Grundy inserts himself into the contest, but it's all the Bombers. Snap at goal on that occasion. Came from Gleeson, I think it was, and just offline. And have a look at the scoreboard. 3-2-20. Collingwood no score. And we've played almost 16 minutes in the first quarter.
So the Bombers completely on top here at the moment. Zaharakis, he loves playing on this day. Zaharakis, he kicked 4 goals on this day last year. He only got 9 for the season. So in the other 20 matches, he got 5, and he got 4 on this day.
So important to them, Zaharakis. He's that game-breaking midfielder who can carry the ball, can kick goals. They need him to have a big year if they're going to take that next step.
Grundy unopposed to Beams, to Swan and Chapman, and a boundary throw. So Chappie against Collingwood, eh? He likes playing in big matches against the Pies. That famous grand final not that long ago.
Oh, he laps this sort of stuff up, Bruce. He absolutely thrives on this big stage. Melcham trying to get it to Chapman. Unsuccessful, side bottom to Ball. Ball over the top, Pendlebury, left footer, remember. Didn't want to know about it on that occasion. Have a look at the awareness. The awareness by Pendlebury there was quite brilliant. He missed Fasolo on the handball, but he had players north, east, west and south. He was completely surrounded.
It's remarkable, isn't it? I mean, it didn't work out perfectly, but look at the awareness. That's his basketball background, surely.
Yeah, just take the gap.
Exactly, like brilliant.
Decision making, he is so good. Now side bottom, an inside 50 entry. Here's Cloak. First real one-out aerial contest. Went and got on that occasion, did Bagley. Was immediately tackled by a ferocious Elliott. And umpire Nichols says, "I'll ball it up."
Collingwood have got to do a bit of locking the ball in their forward line. They haven't been getting to there much. Essendon have done extremely well of locking in there. And well, now Collingwood have got field position. They've just got to not let this out.
Whit's the third man, and McCaffrey and behind.
See, that's a big one. If you can get shots at goal, and more importantly, if you can kick goals as a tagger, it just makes your opponent, the key Essendon mid, in this case, Joe Watson, have to come to you more, have to pay you more respect if you can hit the scoreboard.
So he debuted on this day 6 years ago. McCaffrey, Fletcher wide, boundary throwing.
A time to catch our breaths, because the Bombers have been superb in the opening 17.5 minutes. Collingwood essentially just starting to win some contested
The
footy.
last 5 minutes has been all right, but they're 3 behind on the scoreboard. That's their problem, but now they're in the game.
Beams caught high here in the Watson tackle.
Sometimes when the opposition starts well, the first step is to just stabilise the game, stop them scoring, and then maybe then you can hit the scoreboard, which is now Collingwood's next step.
Yep, effectively they have stopped the bleeding here, at least momentarily. Now an opportunity for Swan, the push off and Hibbert. Can he get enough purchase to bend it around? He did. Just missing though. The second behind for the Pies in this first quarter. They're 18 points down.
So Bagley, good mark. No doubt it's been stabilised, though, as BT and Lee said, in the last 5 minutes. So Bagley, missed kick really, but well, too far for Chapman in the end. For Solo, good kick forward. Hibbert went early. Fletcher releases it. Stanton so much of the ball. Back to Hibbert, back to Stanton. And then Stanton to Hooker. And we know that Hooker's a big disposal getter. He's like a midfielder. So what's Stanton up to, BT?
He's had 10, Bruce.
So here's Hook in the back pocket.
Kicks down the line. Defensive thing to do. Danaher's his target. Carlisle there, so all the big fellas there for the Bombers. Howlett gave a handball to Melcham, who was always under the Collingwood pump. And now they get out of it. Numbers around the footy. Howlett again. The smother by White allows Mumba to go and get it. Howlett's all over him. Look at the pressure from the Bombers. They are tackling. They are committed to this game. Make no mistake. Every time Collingwood get it. Look, 2 in the tackle. The Bombers' pressure has been brilliant.
Oh, great call, BT. That's been the key to Essendon's first quarter so far. Great pressure, great defensive acts on the ball carrier. They forced Collingwood to turn the ball over. They're all over them at the moment.
Elliott Little kick going forward. Cloak, well done, uses his body, but Hooker was up for it. So Stanton make that 11 now in the back pocket. Kicks the ball wide. Chapman marks, presenting well. Neat looking kick to Carlisle. What an interesting week for Carlisle. How will he react today?
Just a pressure stat. 24 tackles to Essendon, only 14 to Collingwood. That's a good example, or just of how good Essendon have been defensively.
Gee, should have done better there, the Bombers. Howlett was trying to protect the footy. That had to go, though. And then Beams and Heppel. And a ball. So centre wing right in front of us. Watson, McCaffer. A goal to Jobe in the opening term. A behind to McCaffer.
Look at the work off the footy here. The little palm to the back there by Ryder was a set-up play that didn't work. This will come back. And 50. Now Swan thought, I think he thought it was a Collingwood free and he was trying to play the advantage. Instead it went to Watson, and this is going to bring him within range.
Yeah, I think that's a bit harsh here. There's so much going on.
But I don't think you can think. I reckon he's probably kicked the ball 3 or 4 seconds after the umpire's whistle. I think if you think you're taking advantage, you've got to look at the umpire to make sure.
Watson with the short kick, and how can that possibly happen that Winderlick can be standing there after it took them 20 seconds to set up the play?
Yeah, spot on, BT. That's sloppy by the Pies. They'll be really disappointed. Nathan Buckley, I'm sure, will talk to the group about that at quarter time, because when you've got that much time, you cannot allow a mark inside 50 like that.
He's a goal kicker. This one's directly in front. Winderlick to really put Collingwood under pressure, and he has, with a 4th Essendon first quarter goal.
I understand your point there, Lee, that once the free kick's been paid, if you haven't known for sure that it's advantage in your advantage, you probably do have to have a look around it. There's an Austin, there's a big crowd, a lot of noise going on out there. You don't always know.
And you're probably right, Gillingham, from Dane Swan's point of view, but most of the time, if the free kick's paid and a few seconds elapse and then the team who has lost the ball plays on, normally that'll be a 50. Chamberlain did that.
Rested last week, Winderlick. Such a goal kicker, we know that. He's only averaged about 10 games through his career each season, but they're a better team when he's out there. He was brilliant against Carlton a couple of weeks ago. Stanton, Ashby, Heppel, wrong side for him. Poor handball, Gleeson under the pump. Rode the tackle. Still with it, Gleeson. She's given a lot of time. And now it's Collingwood that are hunting in packs and numbers, and a ball up. So McCaffrey and Watson. So much, of course, talked about McCaffrey and the tactics used against Cochin a couple of Friday nights ago. Ryder tried to lay it down. Bull squeezed the ball forward to half forward right. Hooker first to react on Cloak. Good handball, young Zach Merritt down the line to Danaher. Two of the kids. Merritt to Danaher.
Danaher just short of the wing, wants to get it going with handball, so the Bombers in complete control. Here's Heppel, left footer, decided to give it to Zaharakis. Little Chisler finds Chapman. I think too far out to score even for this man. Paul Chapman surveys the situation, realises that. Didn't get a lot of meterage there, but he's thumped that one through from
Nice
behind.
kick, isn't it?
Yep.
It's had a 60-metre carry. He would have made the distance if he'd actually had the first shot. He certainly kicked it long enough.
They've shocked them, the Bombers, Lingy, haven't they? They really have shocked the Pies here.
Yeah, no doubt, BT. I think we thought Collingwood, with it, certainly in the better form out of the two teams coming into this round, thought Collingwood would be the team to start well, but Essendon have been terrific. Their defensive pressure's been great. They've taken the game on as much as they can. The Pies, though, starting to get into the game a little bit. That's disappointing from Travis Cloak. He'll be dirty on himself about that one.
Stanton to Gleeson, through centre half back. Beautiful little chisel. This man has presented well. Danaher been in the game, needed to be. That wasn't his best kick. Maxwell in front. Wins the ball to the ground. Ryder searching back to Zaharakis. Bit of time and space found here. Little kick around the corner from Merritt, and he finds Ryder.
Costly drop by Travis Cloak, wasn't it? Just when Collingwood were moving the ball down the ground with a bit of efficiency, something they've struggled to do in this first quarter. Cloakey dropped that mark that he would have taken 99 times out of 100. Essendon now get a shot at goal.
Bombers outplaying the Pies here. Well into red time in this first quarter. Just under 3 minutes remaining. Ryder normally does everything pretty well. This one's on the way. Goal umpire doesn't move a lot. And can you believe it? The Bombers with 5.
It's often the team that makes the least number of mistakes, and just at the moment Collingwood are making the mistakes. The 50-metre penalty before for Swan, and that drop might by Clegg. All of a sudden the ball bounces down the other end. So Collingwood at the moment are the ones who are just making the odd mistake. Essendon making the most of it.
It's a 31-point lead. It's a long way to come back.
Did not see this one coming at all. Not that sort of dominance to the Bombers in this first quarter.
Plenty to think about down there right now. Ryder's 100th career goal. Collingwood have never had a goalless quarter, any quarter, in the 76 played so far on Anzac Day, where they've got a couple of minutes to right that. And the ball's going in the wrong direction. Ryder to Watson. Chapman has to get a handle on it. Did it well. Heppel back to Stanton. 13th disposal for Stanton, not his best. And cut off by Langdon. So
been incredible, Stanton. The fact he's had the 14 touches, as Lee mentioned, he's been playing not a run-with role, but an accountable role on Dane Swan. Throw in Jake Melksham, who's got the job on Pendlebury. He's had the 9 possessions, so 2 huge wins there for the Bombers in those midfield matchups.
Couldn't have started better for Bomber Thompson and all their plans. The kick to centre wing, Ball got his head down, couldn't quite. Hurley trying to break through. Wrapped up now, Hurley. Ball still not quite out.
He started so well, Stan, with 14 disposals. I reckon at the moment you'd have to be asking him the question, Bucks would be, do I swap McCaffrey off Watson onto him? Because he's a 40 possession getter, Stanton, if he starts well and gets a bit of space to run, gets his confidence up.
Tim, Nathan Buckley will address the team in just over a minute. What do you think will be the first thing he'll tell them?
Well, I think the first thing is that they're going to start winning enough of their own ball, Collingwood. They're not getting this game played on their own terms at all. So I think that's the starting position for them. I mean, they may have come into this game a little bit soft in the mind, thinking that Essendon have let a number of players out, but they certainly understand now they've got a real contest on their hands.
I agree with you. I reckon a little soft in the mind is a good way to sum it up here. And just waiting to see what Essendon came with today, and they've been shocked by it.
Compare that to last week, the way they came out, almost breathing fire against North Melbourne. They took it up to North Melbourne. They hunted North Melbourne. We're seeing a completely different thing now, where Essendon are the ones hunting Collingwood around the packs, and with all their great pressure around the ball.
Essendon numbers here again. Merritt keeps it alive. Little one around the corner. Here's Hardingham. Tuvey did well to get around him in the end. And a hold. So this will be an Alan Tuvey free. A bit of a Bronxy from the crowd because they haven't had a lot, but they haven't been in position to win many. Grundy. So a minute, just over a minute in the quarter remaining. Can Collingwood do any scoreboard damage? Cloak in at 1 out again here with Hooker. Third man up, Hurley, elevated very high. Ground level footy. Now White with his strength around the corner. Good looking footy. Here's Pendlebury. Likes his left. Was he tackled without it? It was tight. Melksham has given it away.
Just paying deflection, Melksham. Been close to goal. Don't want to give the half yard. He played it well, Pendlebury. He just gave himself a bit of space. Just grappled on that margin.
Clever football, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And there's the flight by Hurley without regard for his body. That's a collarbone breaker, that. And Pendlebury with the left foot in a really good position to attack the goal face here. 2-time Anzac Day medalist. One of the stars of the modern competition. And not a great start. 3 behinds is all the Pies can muster up with 20 seconds in the quarter remaining.
All gettable to McCaffrey's, Swan, and now Pendlebury. So they may have that goalless quarter for the first time on Anzac Day. Essendon have had a few. In fact, they've had a couple recently in opening terms against the Pies. So this has been a real turnaround. Hibberd to kick it as far as he can to try and get it out of the danger zone. Grundy did well. And then terrific hip and shoulder. I think you're still allowed to say that, as Ashby kicks the ball up high to centre wing. Lumumba and Howlett, what a mark. Howlett, gee, that sums up the opening quarter. Heppel on the burst. Time might beat and nothing else will. Well, no, it won't. They're a chance, and it couldn't be in better hands. He can go with the trip here, Winderlich.
Got a sider early in the quarter. Always helps.
Look at this mark by Howlett, which really set this whole situation up.
3 against 1, the 1-1.
strategy with that free kick. Going back with the flight. If you take their arms at all, you're always going to give a free kick away. But Howlett's mark, and then his willingness just to play on and get the ball moving, set that one up.
Hasn't missed a set shot so far this year. This is tricky. He's given it a ride. He's hit the post. But nothing will spoil this opening quarter for Essendon. It's been one for the ages. They've come to play big time on Anzac Day.
You'd almost do it now. I mean, okay, Watson might get away from you, but at the moment, Stanton is just absolutely killing Collingwood.
So start of the second quarter, Bombers by 31. Collingwood with the long road back. They were completely outplayed in that first quarter, all but say 5 or 6 minutes, when Collingwood briefly were able to get a little bit of football.
Hold the ball. Must make a genuine attempt. Collingwood free.
Heard the explanation there. Here's Young running onto his favoured left side, and that's the benefit of that. A good-looking footy deep. Flew on that occasion, an opportunity here for the Pies. Grundy couldn't get in front. Hibbert, quick clearance, wasn't his best kick, but he was under some pressure.
Dustin Fletcher, the big third up spoil. We've seen that for about 20 years now. Outstanding.
Remarkable, isn't he? I mean, he played in the very first one of these. It was his 33rd game, and he kicked 2 goals. Still going. Beams, Young, getting a fair bit of it. Young gets it inside 50. White and Hurley, good battle. Hurley just can't quite get clear. Gang tackled Bagley. Hibbert, he's on the right side for him, but he didn't have anywhere to go. So back to the man we're talking about in Fletcher, and then off a step. Gets the ball to centre wing. Maxwell belting the ball away to the advantage of Langdon. Brought down on the up. Tuvey rode the tackle from Merritt. Ball still not out. Winderlich searching, trying to fetch it out. And it'll be a ball up. Bruce centre wing.
Bruce, you mentioned Clinton Young starting to get a little bit of the ball. He's lining up as a wingman with Brenton Stanton as the other one on the wing. They're both almost standing by themselves. So as Joe Watson just draws another free kick here for holding on against McCaffer. But it's all going to depend which side of the stoppage the ball falls as to whether or not Stanton's going to get the ball or Young's going to get the ball. I reckon, given Stanton's influence, Collingwood would want to be rounding him up a little bit better so he can't get footy like this.
Watson, good ball to Stanton. Stanton to Danaher. Comes around on his favoured left side. Frost did well to knock it down in front. Did he get enough power on the spoil? Because Winderlich was lurking. Realised he had to come back. Melcham with a ripping kick around the body. Jakey Melcham, what a goal!
Doing well those midfield matchups. We know Melcham's main job is to try and prevent Pendlebury from getting a whole lot of the footy. Well, he's done that and got the ball himself. So that particular matchup has been really good for Essendon. As we've mentioned a lot of times, Stanton just continues to run into space to link them up.
This is what McCaffer can't do. You see right of the screen there. Just turned his back on the play, and Joe Watson gets the free kick for holding on. McCaffer's got to make sure his focus is still the footy, being wary of where Watson is, but can't be giving away free kicks.
Right, you saw Watson on the run then. He was ready to go. It was a half an inch short of where it needed to be. Now Lumumba goes deep inside 50. Here comes Cloak. Powerful body. Fletcher just wants the boundary line. And he may well find it, and he does.
Maxwell's been really good in the early part of this season, but he hasn't taken a mark, so Essendon are able to engage him, and even when he is going for the ball, they've been able to bring it to ground, so they're actually really pulled the Collingwood defence apart well in the early part of the game.
6 different goal scorers so far for the Bombers. A remarkable start to this match. Clever, Melcham, Heppel, back to Watson with that big frame of his, and a boundary throw-in.
Using that free kick before we were here a couple of weeks ago when McCaffer was on Trent Cotchin against Richmond. By that interpretation, Cotchin would have got 25 free kicks.
Yes, very true. I reckon it's the cue now umpires have been told to look for. As soon as the back is to the footy, pay a free kick.
Lumumba, Blair, still Blair, doesn't quite shake the tackle, and then up the front, Watson was good. Melcham, Pendlebury, trying to find some time and space. Well done by Blair over the top. Wick's got a bad bounce. Watson was brilliant to Heppel, to Chapman. Releases Stanton. Hooks it wide. Clever stuff. Bouncing ball. Merritt broke the tackle. Didn't use Stanton's run. Brilliant kick to half forward. Gives Winderlich every chance. Recovers first on Maxwell. Looks up. Goes to his left. Wants to concede. Back to the left. Spearing ball to full forward. Danaher worked underneath. Lumunda's got it. Collingwood around. Are they? Howland cutting it off. Big play here. Terrific tackle, Howland. Brilliant second effort. Chappie to Danaher. Back to Chapman.
Oh, he did well. Now Melcham gets a look. He's looking for someone out the side. Found Watson. He loads up, puts it into the hot spot. Here they are. Carlisle to Howard. Was he tackled high? Was he in need in the back? Boy, they all seem to stop. I think they thought it was definitely going to be a free. Now side bottom. Kick wide. So Collingwood had it. McCaffrey didn't realise that that Essendon player was coming from the bench. And Cloak will get back to position. Here is the high tackle. It was only there for a second, and I reckon that's why the umpire gave him the benefit of the doubt for Solo. Knocked back into attack. Howard again. Just skies it forward. Carlisle had eye for the footy. Keith lost it momentarily. Frost in front. And now an opportunity for Langdon. And Collingwood at last just get a little bit of non-pressured footy. Pendlebury's kick is an absolute beauty. And he finds Ball. Ball just says, let's steady a little. Get a feel of the footy, which we haven't had much of. Goldsack sneaks up along the line.
They just need a bit of poise, don't they? They've been shaken and stirred right now, Collingwood. Goldsack. Hurley beaten to it by White. So that's a little victory. That first goal, when it comes, you feel will release some pressure, but it's a long, long time coming. Ball and Hardingham. Ball trying to scoop it back. Heppel, cleverly done. Hurley, gee, he went hard at White. Chapman, through it. Has to come back, throw. Good tackle from Beams.
Yeah, the umpires will give the benefit of the doubt for those balls that fall out of the tackle, but I think that was obvious enough that the umpire pinned him.
Chappie's still trying to convince the umpire he got a hand to it.
He was. Couldn't believe that. Blatant throw. Beams now to Cloak. That's a little heavy and high again, as some of them have been into Cloak at the moment, running past the footy deliberately, Ashby. And now a boundary throw, and this is the attempt to get rid of it. I think he got mixed up with the first little fist. The second one definitely had none. So a chance for the Pies here within 30 metres of their goal.
Free kick, Pendlebury. Hold. Jumper.
So a lot of free kicks being paid in the close checking stoppage area.
And this is a definite warning to anyone playing defensive around any of the teams over the whole weekend, but certainly for the rest of this game. You cannot be holding your opponent at all. You can see Scotty Pendlebury's jumper there. They look for that sail. They look for the opponent turning his back on the footy. They're going to pay free kicks.
I reckon if he held skin then, the jumper didn't come away from the body, he would have gone away with it. Pendlebury now, for the second time in the perfect position, is not able to get the job done.
But BT, it looks like it's been a clear instruction, doesn't it, to umpires off the footy to pay anything that looks like a hold from any run-with-tagger type players.
0-5 from set shots so far this year, Pendlebury. So that's a surprise. Watson, brilliant pick-up. Goes to ground. Power, though. Sweeps to Zaharakis to Chapman. And then Chapman plays the percentages off the step. Gets it as far as he can. He's just trying to buy some time. He wants the boundary line in the end. Frost okay to Keefe. A couple of those young, tall defenders for Collingwood. Little one to Ball. Ball back to Pendlebury, starting to get heavily involved to Beams. Back to Grundy. Grundy out wide. Better build up Collingwood. We've got something going now. Elliott kicks to the pocket. Can they get on the end of it? Cloak trying to search for it. White's quick. He should kick a goal. At long last, the valve has been released. The genie's out of the bottle.
Well, it wasn't much better build up by Collingwood. They won a crucial ball down back. just a little bit of composure there. They haven't had it so far today. A little bit of composure leader. Just be able to move the ball through the middle without taking too big a risk. A few kicking marks and then eventually break through, get the ball into a dangerous spot.
Hurley then, I thought he defended that badly in the air. He sort of just went too full of the gate, allowed the ball to get to ground, and White was able to run onto it. So that slide is a mistake. Wow. You see Hurley, the way I just thought he could have actually... he just got in no man's land. Didn't seem to know where the ball was, too conscious of his opponent. It just created that opportunity for Collingwood.
39 minutes on Anzac Day 2014 for Collingwood to kick a goal. Heppel now, hurried handball. Bagley's in the vicinity. Crunching tackle from Goldsack, and a little too brutal for the umpire. That was a crunching tackle. Goldsack pleading his case. Perhaps a little high.
Gee, I don't know, BT. That looked like a good tackle to me. I'm looking forward to seeing the replay. I think Goldsack was a bit stiff there.
He was disappointed. Now Ryder outmarks Grundy and Swan, looking for a runner on the inside. Found Heppel, now Hibberd. Sneaky little handball. Got it back, Merritt. His brother, of course, is the sub in this game today. Stanton back to Winderlich. Winderlich had some early opportunities in the first quarter. Here's Gleeson. The step was beautiful. And then he lines up with a pump that misses.
So one thing that Essendon, let's have a look at this. Sort of in the back, landed on the back in the end, benefited out of the player who's got the footy.
Dempsey, the sub, in fact, today. I think if it said it was Merritt, but it is, in fact, Dempsey today.
Gleeson look good there. I feel like Collingwood just need this next one. I mean, they've broken the shackles. There's a little bit of parity in the last 10 minutes. They just need the next one. Good kick coming out to Maxwell. He's got a good record in these games, Nick. Didn't play last year when they were beaten. Little ball inside. Gets to McCaffer. McCaffer to half forward. Hibberd half came across, never quite completed. Hooker's been really impressive, hasn't he? And the one-on-ones with Cloak, there's been some poise there so far.
He has done a really good job, Carl Hooker, on Travis Cloak. We know how strong Cloak is. We know how good a player. I don't think the Pies midfielders and those people kicking the ball into him have helped him much. They've set it on his head a little bit. I reckon you just got to get it to his advantage somehow, and he's that good and he's that strong, he'll end up marking the footy.
Pies need not panic here, just little bits and pieces at a time, Lingy, to get back. They don't have to get the whole margin back in this quarter, do they?
No, exactly right. And they've managed to do it the last 5 or 6 minutes, just controlling the footy a little bit more. They've got to take advantage of it. I'm not sure about that kick.
No, it was high, and there were 2-on-1 favouring the Bombers there. And now Hurley's being pressured. The 2-18s go at it. Hurley with the soccer now, right to finish. Great handball. Lumumba through some traffic. He wanted to go in the end. He just didn't get the space. In the end, Mark taken deep in defence by Mark Bagley. It came off the boot of Blair.
So Bagley wide to Hooker.
A couple of jumperies there, Bruce.
Danaher, good hands. See, that's a strong mark, isn't it? That sends a message across the AFL. Not a great kick. Pressure on. Well done, Pendlebury. Really building here, Pendlebury. Good kick to fall forward. He's got Swanee, and Swanee's got a goal. And Collingwood, centimetre by centimetre, edge their way back. Well, that's what BT said to you, Lingy, a moment ago. I mean, bit by bit, Swan's been quiet. That helps. Pendlebury's the one that you feel starting to roll a bit, Lee, don't you? I mean, he's starting to get involved.
Yeah, no, the game's been fairly even, except the scoreboard, of course. From about 10-15 minutes into the first quarter, Collingwood finally got their first goal. And now that they're playing just as well, now it's a question, can they make the most of their opportunities?
Pendlebury up to 11.
It was a great grab by Danaher, but just that kick, a little bit too much loop. Pendlebury, so then once he won it, just have the awareness, the composure to see Dane Swan. Swan realised as soon as Pendlebury won the ball, he headed back to the goal square as fast as he could. The two champs linking up. They need to get them into the game, and Pendlebury starting to get a bit of a hold of the footy.
11 touches for Pendlebury, second only to beams for Collingwood in possessions in this game. And you're right, Lingy, he's starting to get a feel for it. Here's Gleeson, who's had a really good year so far. Wasn't that a clever tap from Tarlo? The double-handed flicker out the side door sets up Heppel. Handball under pressure. Collingwood everywhere. They're all over him at the moment. Merritt went. That was Jackson. And Collingwood come with the footy. Here's Young through the middle. Goldsack. McCaffer. Can they make them pay? Young, his feet were taken. No free, says the umpire. Blair. Advantage will be paid. Elliott will go long and deep. Here's Pendlebury. That's exactly where he wanted it. Melksham, Pendlebury in one out. And the second helper in Howlett was perfection.
Gee, that was a big win for the Bombers and a huge win for Collingwood at half-back a moment ago. So this game really alive now, Merritt.
Outstanding by Jack Melksham there in that one-on-one marking contest with Pendlebury. Didn't get too conscious of where his opponent was. Just read the flight of the ball, had good position, got the spoil.
Eased into his back, knowing he didn't want him to get full reach, and just did it well, subtly.
Carlisle to Merritt to Howlett, not a good handball. And then Heppel wide to the running Stanton. So Stanton to load up. 18 disposals, Stanton to full forward. Winderlick outnumbered. Almost won against Sidebottom and also Langdon. Ball not out. Sidebottom held up. Langdon on the up. Good stuff. Young is playing loose in defence. Kicks the ball to half back. Setting himself width. On the up from Bagley to Ashby. Ashby looks up, too tall. Going forward, back to Young. Back to Sidebottom, who barrels it.
He does. He goes the barrel and gets a piece of it to Goldsack. You get the feeling, Lingy, that Collingwood really starting to lift now.
Oh, this is game on now, BT. This is what we expected from the start. The Bombers got the jump, and look at their pressure. Just their fierce tackling pressure. Collingwood starting to win some footy on the back of that great defensive work.
Their pressure has equalled the Bombers in the first quarter now. What happens from here is the next thing. Who can lift again? Elliott's in and under. So 2 goals to Collingwood in this second quarter, 1 to the Bombers.
Oh, it's great stuff, BT, here at ground level. Collingwood really having a crack now at Essendon, putting out all sorts of pressure.
Right in front of where you are, Tim. Sensational stuff, and getting back is Langdon. Along with Frost this year has been a great find for the Pies. Now Lumumba's got some space here, so has Keefe. But a 50-metre penalty will bring the lethal left foot of Young to within goal-kicking range for a marker. Young plays on. Senna. Someone can get hold of this. They'll have a shot. Opportunity. Blair was in there. Fletcher did well with a clearing kick. 3 on 2 here. And Grundy marks. Gives it to Elliott. Elliott launches from 50. High footy. Won't get the journey. Hurley flies. But I think it's a Collingwood mark to Sidebottom. It is. Hurley complains, but Sidebottom has taken a beauty. Runs. Plays on. Collingwood have kicked 3 in a row to dig themselves out of a deep hole.
She was a good contest. I mean, Hurley had a... Sidebottom was always going to take the mark. Hurley's had a great crack at that. And I reckon he's probably got some justification in having an argument here.
And Fletcher was there as well, so he came down with the ball Sidebottom, but the Essendon players aren't so sure he came down with the footy.
So what's your decision here? Miss Sidebottom. Hurley coming at him with Fletcher. Let's have another look.
They seem to come down with it.
So you almost ball that one up, though, don't you? Both sets of hands had a good piece of it.
So Collingwood have kicked 3 in a row. Bagley's a little give. Didn't go far. Tries to get through. Collingwood's pressure's been brilliant. And then Fasolo, I didn't say I was saying that a few minutes ago, but Fasolo rips them down. So suddenly you feel like this game is on an even keel. So we've seen so much of this lead today. I mean, holding off the ball. I mean,
yeah. I mentioned, I think, halfway through the first quarter, tackles about 24-13 Essendon's way. Well, Collingwood have now 43-37 their way. So their tackling pressure this last 30 minutes has been absolutely outstanding.
So Heppel to Fletcher. So Fletcher and Robert Harvey at the moment. number 3 on the all-time list of games at 383. Only Tuck and Bartlett in front of Fletch. Kicks to about 40 metres. Young and Swan. Swan just couldn't take the mark for Solo trying to backtrack. Gets to Beams, gets to Swanee.
And now Swan out of the loop, found Witts. Important possession here, and this kick must find a Collingwood player. He went the handball ball, so using the footy carefully at the moment here, Collingwood. Witts had to be clean, he was a little fumbly. And ball around the corner eases it just slightly to Gold Sack. 6.5 minutes remain in the half. And Collingwood have trimmed it back to a 19-point game after it got out to 37 early in this quarter. Careful with the footy here. Frost. For Solo, who's been the user of the footy deep in defence that they've missed since Leon Davis departed. Now Young, who's been important in this game. He's got the runner. Lumumba wants to go wide. Decides to kick it to himself. It was a bit of a mung. White didn't get it clean, and Hooker has been good this year. That handball coughed up the cloak from the boundary line. That would be an unbelievable goal. Collingwood have got 4 in a row. But
umpire's call. I believe it's a goal. Okay, so your umpire's call is a goal. Okay, score review. Umpire's call is a goal. Can you please check if the ball was touched off the boot?
Review underway. As if the goal umpire had any idea whether it was touched off the boot 40 metres away.
and I think it's going to be a tough one to call from there. You're looking for any sign of a finger being bent back here.
I've got enough down.
And it's really hard to get that clarity. So I think this one will be, as called initially, a goal. Now here, let's have a look here.
Finger being bent back there.
Boy, that's a finger on footy. That replay there will nullify the goal.
Review complete, confirmed behind.
Touch all clear on the ball.
In the end, a courageous and great call by the umpire.
Usually it's very hard to get vision for those touched off the boots, but just enough to change the call.
Cloak had just come off the interchange. It was a spectacular kick, but doesn't get the reward with a touch from Heppel. Well done, Blair. Zaharakis are on the back foot, the Bombers. Young's been important, I reckon.
Yeah.
He really has. Remember that first half of the grand final? Sorry, Lingy, but his ball about 55 metres out.
Such a penetrating kick, isn't he, Young? He really just makes the opposition pay.
And Cloak will get a second crack from a similar angle, this time from the set shot.
Collingwood's ball movement has certainly improved in this second quarter. They've been a lot cleaner with the footy, but they've also been able to hit up some better targets. Their kick and mark movement down the ground's been spot on. It just allowed Travis Cloak there to work into only a tiny pocket of space, but on the lead takes the mark and gets a set shot.
This is huge, isn't it? I mean, just for his confidence after what happened a moment ago, and there you go. A spray to the pocket and a boundary throw in. So a disappointing result there.
It was always less chance of kicking a set shot from an angle than the actual snap where you don't think.
So 18 points, 3 goals. Collingwood got a lot of footy in their end of the ground in this quarter. McCaffer, the tagger. Just short of where it needed to be. Blair, quick hands, Pendlebury. Got Meltram all over him. Gold Sack on the side bottom. Got a couple. Side bottom in a row. Collingwood 4 in a row.
Well, just sheer weight of numbers there, wasn't it, Lee? Just numbers running through for Collingwood. Take the ball, fumble. Eventually, Sidebottom was there to pop it through. That's what they do when they're at their best. They swarm all over the opposition. They swarm all over the ball.
Well, Essendon did that to them for the first 15 minutes of the game, and got the scoreboard ascendancy. But Collingwood have now certainly worked their way back in general play, but still 2 goals behind.
And again, Pendlebury involved.
You see the number of Collingwood jumpers in the screen. They just keep getting the extra number there.
McCaffer was involved, Pendlebury involved, 2 of the key players today in different roles. So Collingwood have kicked the last 4 after the Bombers got the first 6 of the match. So a remarkable turnaround here. Ryder wins the tap, but Pendlebury again taken high. Blair, Howlett, they're chasing jumpers suddenly, the Bombers. Ball switches out. Pendlebury is turning the match a bit. Blair taken up the front.
Great tackle. Great tackle. That's what you want from your skipper. And Collingwood have got the roll on. Just a fantastic tackle by Joe Watson.
Well, both captains are really having an input here, aren't they? I mean, Pendlebury's really lifted. Howlett, Chapman, a cool head. Wide to Zaharaka. So Essendon need clean ball for the moment. Winderlich was wide. Dangerous kick to centre half forward. Lumumba, well done. Actually threw it out to Pendlebury. Langdon on the up. Back to Langdon.
Now Langdon from the half-back area. Has to hit White. Fletcher's there, but not this time for Fletch. White. Talk about change in this game. All Collingwood here, second-term action. Goldsack. Got a little hands on it. Cloak. Just pulled the kick, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And then in the end, a partial smother. Hooker. Gee, put his mate under pressure. Ashby. Here is Goldsack. Left foot snap. This is unbelievable. Collingwood have kicked 5 in a row, and it's a 1-goal margin.
Turnovers, turnovers. You think of the short kick by Danaher earlier to Melcham in this game. Turnovers are now killing the Bombers.
Yeah, and what it's coming from, Bruce, is Collingwood are just swarming on them. It's part of their initial wave of the press, is they're just straight over any of the receivers for Essendon there to put pressure on. Pendlebury was the one who caused that cough up that allowed Goldsack to kick the goal. Really good play by the players.
Hasn't got much space, Hooker, but just gave it to the player under pressure. And again, the Collingwood numbers in the television screen always a fair indication of the energy they're putting into the game.
They could be in front at half-time, Lee, which is quite remarkable. 1-goal game with about 3.5 minutes remaining. What a game. And again, Pendlebury fishing it out. Zaharakis, Hibbert, Bagley. Nothing coming easy for Essendon suddenly. That was good. Well played by young Merritt. Heppel, well, he's courageous. He'll need Frost up the front. Elliott down the line. Good kick, McCaffrey. Quickly playing on. Clever kick. Bouncing ball. Blair, too slow. No, it was a poor tackle by young Merritt. Blair kicks to full forward. Big fly at the back. Beams waiting with Hibbert. Side bottom's already kicked a couple. Can't quite get a handle. Back to Beams. Back to full forward. Again a bouncing ball. Cloak lumbering a little. Strong. He's got 3. Sidey's got 3. Scores a level. Yes. All square. They're rattled. Essendon are rattled in the back half right now. They're fumbling. They're twitchy. They're thinking about it.
Bruce. They and it's all Collingwood that's caused that rattling of Essendon. Phenomenal play by Collingwood. They are just all over the Bombers, everywhere on the ground, but especially inside their forward 50.
Well, this will be interesting.
Wow, they're down that end, but they just attacking the ball so hard. Collingwood out of the psychology of footy. Same 2 teams about half hour apart have completely reversed the roles of the energy that they're putting into attacking the footy and attacking the opposition with the footy.
And Lee, you said they're just swarming all over them. That's the 3rd goal now for Collingwood from the goal square. They're just following up every little mistake. The pies are there.
Not only that, all six of their goals have come from within 25 metres. So here we go. Scores are level. They were 36 points down 8 minutes into this second quarter, and now the scores are level. And modern footy's not entertaining. Gee.
I've never seen footy better than this. What we saw last Monday, I mean, no one can complain about the 2 games we've seen at the MCG this last 5 days.
Elliott in some trouble behind the play. He looks real sore in the left thigh, perhaps. Pendlebury now with another ball inside 50. This time the mark taken by Bagley. 1:40 remaining in the half. Stanton been influential, particularly in the first quarter. Hibbert told to go as he took a step forward. Matt Little-Chipper was a little lucky, but Gleeson able to hold on. Elliott comes for some attention on the bench. Hardingham, just his second touch of the game, and we're almost at half-time. Zaharakis.
So they just need to steady here, the Bombers. They've been put on the back foot by a brilliant, tenacious, inspired Collingwood team. Zaharakis setting up. Danaher always the target there. Pendlebury was the fourth man up. Chapman and Goldsack searching. And at least for Essendon, they can catch their breath suddenly, can't they?
They can. And we're seeing Jamie Elliott on the bench now, just getting checked out by the doctor. It'll be important for him to come back on the ground as we have a look at it.
Yeah, sort of a knee to the thigh there.
Hopefully he's okay for the Pies, but you ask what the definition of a captain's game is. Scotty Pendlebury in this quarter, the 11 possessions, he has been outstanding for the Collingwood Footy Club.
Zaharakis off the step. Speaking of captains, the old one took a good one there and got a big hit.
Stepped into the hole, kept his eyes on the footy.
Good stuff from Maxwell.
I don't mind Joe Danaher making sure he earns it either. If somebody's going to drop back in the hole there, you've got to make sure they put their body on the line.
Tim, you just sit up here and smile and wonder at this game, don't you?
My word, you know, it's just been a fantastic turnaround from Collingwood. All the things they didn't do in that first quarter, applying the pressure and the aggression to Essendon, they've upped the ante this quarter. Now Essendon are on the back foot. They need to regroup at half-time.
Thoroughly entertaining stuff. We've all got smiles on our faces up here. Magnificent stuff. There's the half-time siren. Look at the Collingwood supporters in the outer stand and applaud to square it up at half-time. And as I said, they were 37 points down early in this second quarter, 36 down 9 minutes into this second quarter. And that was a monumental comeback after a superb first quarter of football from the Bombers. The Pies are back in the game here at the moment and doing it very, very nicely. As the sides gather and head to half-time, stay with us. It doesn't get any better than this. Scores level at half-time. Be there yet, Bruce.
It's just been which side can earn the momentum, isn't it? And Essendon earned it early. Collingwood got it that quarter, but I don't think any of us are quite sure, which is great, what's going to happen from this point onwards in that regard.
Oh, he's that excited down there, Tim. He's tuned right into this game like we are. And McCaffer with the first opportunity. Beams let it go. Dispossessed was Stanton, and already players showing that there's plenty of spirit left in this one.
Well, straight away it comes back to the team that can put the most pressure on the opposition, not just at the ball carrier with the initial tackle, but also cutting off those outlets, making sure they can't get their arms free, get the feed going, kickstart their game that way.
And the score on that, Lingy, is 1-1. Essendon in the first quarter and Collingwood in the second.
Yeah, absolutely, BT. We're starting from scratch, absolutely, in this game. Both teams have done it well. Who does it in this third quarter?
Fletcher lurking down the wing, saw the inside run of Stanton. It was very prominent in the first quarter. High footy, if they got the tools there, looked like there was a bit of hold on Hardingham. Chapman tried to bore a hole through with the head. Keeps it alive, Howlett. Ball stopped in there by Pendlebury. Now, will he be penalised? I'm not sure he had any prior opportunity.
But again, Pendlebury involved. Looks like Howlett's gone to Young. Young was the loose man in that second quarter for a while. I think Howlett might be.
Yes, they'll drop the guy who's coming up the stoppage's back, I think, to stop Collingwood having that spare back six.
Ashby was the third man up and a boundary throw-in. So chasing for solo at the moment.
I like this by Bomber, though, Bomber Thompson. He said to Jakey Melcham, it was probably a very, very ordinary second quarter on Pendlebury, but stick with the matchup. Believes in him to get the better of Scotty Pendlebury like he did in the first quarter. And Melcham draws the free kick in.
Right on cue, he gets the free, Melcham.
It's good faith shown in him by the coach. You go into half-time there feeling a little bit ordinary, and the coach backs you like that, it gives you a lift.
So Carlisle hasn't seen much of it. So much talked about Carlisle prior to the match. Good-looking kick to fall forward. Hardingham had a real run, couldn't quite. He needs to ignite himself in a boundary throw-in, so the Bombers in attack.
And I think one of the things Essendon will be trying to do, Neil Craig touched on that at half-time, is to be more daring when they've got ball in hand. Keep this Collingwood back line guessing and cause some chaos with the ball movement.
So over the back, players were waiting for a whistle. Is Fasolo okay, Tim?
He's still downstairs with the umpire. Oh, sorry, with the umpire, with the medical team.
Stanton, long and deep, high. Off hands, Hardingham's had a couple of really good strong leaps that he just hasn't been able to get hold of it fully. Langdon's under some pressure, got it off to Young. Young now looking for White, who's in good position. Shepherd's for Cloak, but he just didn't get a handle on the footy. Travis. And now Hooker. Did well, Hibberd looking for the give and go. Stanton gives it to the experienced Chapman. Now he needs a clean pick up. Hibberd, and he's away, but Blair got him. Blair did really well. Tuvey locked up in the Howlett tackle. So at the moment, a bit of a 0-0 draw in terms of the pressure stakes.
It's a little bit of who wants it the most right now, isn't it? It's a bit of that sort of footy.
Time back on.
So no stalemate in this match. It is on the scoreboard, but they've come out hard, both teams. So Hibberd, a kick and a half from goal.
Move it on. Play on.
He's got a good long leg. He's going to just set it up. Can Danaher get there? Not quite. Good front spot by Sidebottom. He kicked 3 goals in that burst in the second quarter. It was a remarkable effort by him. So many of them so close to the goals as well. Short, Lumumba. His run and carry will be important as the game goes on. Now Sidebottom to switch.
Yes, 3 goals in 9 minutes, Bruce. Elliott let a real easy one go here. And let's see if that is a sign of things to come. Collingwood appealing for the deliberate and getting it. Gee. I think he thought the pressure was all over him. Here is Sidebottom, who seems to be everywhere.
I wonder who'll be the first of the big fours to get into the game. At the moment, neither side's big fours have really been of any influence. Which of them might be the ones?
We saw Hawkins last week come late, didn't we?
Yeah.
As the game went on. Here's Watson, who really hasn't had a lot of it. That's just his 10th touch in the game, Job. He's been closely monitored. Chapman drops an easy one. Gold sack. They've got numbers everywhere here, Collingwood. Swan looking for the give and go. Got intercepted. Gets it back from 40. Swan was quite brilliant, but he hit the post.
Just a few scratchy little nerves coming out of half-time from both teams here. Jamie Elliott dropped one. Paul Chapman dropped this one, which he'd normally eat for breakfast every day of the week.
He just snatched at a chappie, didn't he? So Collingwood lead for the first time in the match. They've got their nose in front. 6 goals behind early in the second quarter. Ryder with a fly. Frost at the back. Melchin corralled by Pendlebury and a boundary throw in.
Josh Thomas really starting to warm up here on the boundary line as well, so you just wonder whether or not they're going to make the change, Collingwood.
Because Fasolo missed so much footy last year with a foot problem, didn't he? Let's hope nothing to do with that, but slight mystery here. Didn't see anything in the first half. Swan trying to impose himself. He's had a few shots on goal, Swanee. Lumumba off a step to about 50 metres. Good fly from Elliott at the back. Gleeson so impressive. Hibberd on the right side for him. Look away. Fletcher, normally good in this situation, has to kick to space. Hooker versus Cloak. Hooker under pressure. And Cloak forces the error.
Smart by Steele, Sidebottom there too. Both Cloak and him were there for the free kick. He said, I'll take the kick, Cloaky. You get back inside forward 50. Give me an option to kick too.
What about that? Sidebottom asked Farmer to give him the footy back. It almost hit Farmer, the umpire, on the legs. And he said, no, that's not my job, mate. Your job to go and get the footy. Oh, bit unfair. Sidebottom now kicks deep into the pocket, and that would be where the Bombers want it. Spectacular day in Melbourne today. Look at that for a scene. 90,000 jammed in. Just a superb day for what we're seeing here today, and all of the Anzac spirit involved. Beams advances to the punt route, and the Shepherd sees it through for a 2-point Collingwood lead.
35 minutes since the Bomber goal, that Melchin goal in the second quarter. It's been a day of drought, hasn't it? Drought for Collingwood, their only goalless quarter in Anzac history, and now Essendon completely dried up. Hurley takes the mark. So nothing for Cloak, nothing for Carlisle in terms of the big forwards that Lee talked about on the scoreboard. Howlett So what's Cloak had?
Just the one mark in this game so far, Bruce.
Turnover perhaps. Gleeson coughs it up. Ball toe poking forward. Speaking of Cloak, well done Hooker, pushing forward. Howlett is brave, he keeps his head over the footy. Cut off though by Blair. Now White, hooking back to centre half forward. Goldsack and Hibbert, almost Goldsack. Hibbert and Bagley going for the same footy. Swan gets a good tackle on. Play on call. Ball squeezed out. Hurley got it away out of the danger zone. What will the call be? Good call,
Good decision.
Yep.
Oh, when you see that ball dribble out the side there, it's very
We just wait to see, don't we?
Hey, boys, just sorry to break in there, but Courtney Dempsey's now been subbed into the game. Just waiting to see who Essendon have subbed out.
Okay, Tim, all over that, and we're waiting on a verdict with Fasolo as well. We think he may be out of the game. Here's Swan in the meantime, just on the edge of his range. There you can see Hardingham, the man that's been subbed out, straight onto the phone, so it doesn't look like an injury. He's just touched it twice, which Bruce alluded to earlier in the game. And Bomber Thompson just explaining the deeper reasons as to his red vesting. Swan from a difficult angle and will have to kick at 52. And that's to the very near side, out of bounds on the full.
It's really funny with Dane Swan sometimes. He is a magnificent kick of the footy. In traffic, he can pinpoint, he can kick goals, but then he just has the odd day where he completely butchers it.
Well, his accuracy rates never brilliant, though. He's had 4 shots on goal today for 1.
I don't reckon he has great timing in his kicking, even when he's on.
A nervous kick 10 from Courtney Dempsey, his first kick. Interesting to see where he goes. He normally plays as a defender. Hardingham was playing in the forward line, so that will mean a reshuffle at the other end of the ground for the Bombers.
Gleeson searching, can't quite get a handle. Merritt, Fletcher. So in the last 37 minutes, Essendon scored 1 behind it. It's just remarkable. Well, Frost to give Danaher 1 to go on with.
Probably just for this part of the game. Certainly Dempsey's gone into defence, but Stanton at the moment is playing in Essendon's forward group, maybe just trying to make Young accountable in that part of the ground.
Witts, Ashby tried to cut it off. Chapman held up. A couple of tackles on him, make it a 3rd, and a ball up at centre wing.
So there's Fasolo. Tim, I don't know whether you can see anything, but he has been handed the vest, Fasolo.
Yep, he's been subbed out of the game, so Thomas he's just taken the other vest off. He's about to be subbed into the game.
Okay, so Josh Thomas will come in for Collingwood. Courtney Dempsey as the sub for Essendon will also come in. He doesn't look happy for Solo. He was rather angry in accepting the vest, but we think that is a forced change. He was down in the rooms for a long time. Now an opportunity here for both sides to get involved, because at the moment it's a real battle.
You think that's got to be an injury for Fasolo, because he's been too important for them so far this year, coming off half-back with his ball use. As you mentioned, Bruce, you've got to hope for his sake that it's not a reoccurrence of the injury last year to his foot that kept him out for such a long period. He's an important player for the Pies.
Has only had it 5 times in this game, though, but I'm with you, Lingy. I think an injury for sure. Here's Fletcher busting through the Pendlebury attempted tackle. Now at ground level, Merritt was able to pick it up. There's Dempsey injected into the game, immediately penalised for illegal disposal.
Hasn't played a game at this level in all season, Dempsey. He struggled a bit in the first few minutes, just the pace. Beams was terrific there. That's a really good contested mark at centre wing. Signs are good for Collingwood early in the second half. No goals, but they're doing the attacking. They look dangerous. And it's Essendon that can't get the ball in the forward 50. Remember in that first quarter. Now Cloak. Had a couple of shots on goal. 1 behind so far. It was a good kick, actually. It was touched wide. Going up high at the back. Pendlebury. Still with Pendlebury, kept it in, kicks to full forward, and a good mark taken by Stanton, who was the star of the opening term with 14 disposals and a goal. Gets to Heppel, he had so much of it early as well.
Deep in defence, the Bombers. And if you look at that wide shot there, every player in Collingwood's forward half of the ground. Keith, Watson, and a free kick will go the way of Keith here for a knock of the arms. Immediately from 60 metres out, sends it long, but that'll have to come back to kick over the mark. And the umpire explaining to Joe Danaher precisely what he did wrong. You can see all the wires there keeping the Seagulls out, and you can see all the players in that forward half of the ground, not one to the right of screen. That sums up modern footy. Keith. No goals kicked. We've played 12 minutes in this third quarter here. Bombers front and centre, Bagley. This is what they would have expected out of Dempsey and hoped. But he was caught again for the second time that he's had the footy. Langdon went and got the hard one. Over the top to Blair. Finds a bit of space for Swan. He gives to the brilliant side bottom. And down low to White on the lead.
They're drawing them wide, Essendon. The ball is now in wing only Collingwood's forward half, but at least most of these shots at goal are out on angles. Difficult conversions.
It's Collingwood's first goal of this game at the 8-minute mark of the second quarter to put Collingwood 30 points down. A real difficult angle. He needs to work it left to right. I tell you what, the goal umpire did not move. White's got two.
See, that's just a big bonus, isn't it? I mean, you're going to get, what, 3 out of 10 from there? That's a great result.
Yeah, no, it's a great conversion. The Collingwood have started the third quarter largely the way they finished the second. They've actually owned field position, which the game's been largely about Essendon getting a lot of numbers back, but haven't been able to run the ball out. So the ball has been staying largely in Collingwood's forward half.
Tyson Goldsack plays an important role for the Collingwood team. That tackle on Courtney Dempsey, instead of it being an entry for Essendon down the other end of the ground, gets a shot at goal for the Pies, and Jesse White kicks a real difficult one, a really important goal to start this third quarter.
That went right to left. Unbelievable.
So not the slider.
No.
So he's kicked 9 goals in his last 4 matches for Collingwood. White, he's been important. Grundy, Lumumba, 33 minutes since an Essendon score. The last score they got 33 minutes ago, Gleeson scored a behind to put them 31 points in front. Nothing at all in over half an hour. Watson trying to lift them. Howlett with a check side. Keith attacked it. Carlisle. Well, that sums it up. Left it for Merritt, and the confusion reigned and the ball up.
I must say, Carlisle looks like just a player out of form, doesn't he? He's just not attacking the footy. He's watching rather than reacting. It'll be interesting to see what Essendon do with him in the weeks ahead.
Well, he had a big chance to win a hard ball there, and he shied away from the opportunity. His ball back to his feet, and then tries to straight arm Merritt.
I think it's really important for Essendon in this passage of play here just to maintain control of the ball just for another 5 minutes or so. Just keep it at that end of the ground.
Look at that there, Carlisle just corralling the footy and waiting for it to happen rather than going and getting it.
On the footy, Dyson!
And BT trying to do the right thing to let his teammate come through, but I reckon a big bloke like that, you just run through, you take the contact, you feed it off to Merritt on that occasion. I'd love to see him just impose himself on the game now. He's such a big unit, Jack Carlisle.
The way he's thinking about his footy. At the moment, he's lacking confidence, and therefore he's not backing himself to go at the footy hard.
Here's Frost. Northern side. Side bottom has to go. He knew Fletcher was coming. Dempsey for his third look, and he's been caught every time he's got the footy. The rise in level. He hasn't played for some time, Lingy, and it's just catching up a little.
Yeah, just a bit off the pace, BT. You're spot on there. Such a big game to come into, and he was started as a sub, so he hasn't even had a chance to ease himself into the game. He just needs to think that fraction of a second quicker. Otherwise, he risks getting caught.
So Josh Thomas trying to impose himself immediately. He's the other sub, so Dempsey and Thomas coming on at similar times. Short to Beams, got to push Beams, no free. Chapman fell over, well done Swan, starting to build Swanee a bit here. And unfortunately for Thomas, out on the floor.
There's the other sub too, having a kick at the ball. I mean, those guys have been sitting there for 2.5 quarters. It's really difficult for them to get out there and just get warm and pick up the pace of the game.
So Stanton with a careful kick to Danaher. The one thing in Essendon's favour is that Collingwood hasn't... It's taken Collingwood so long to get level that they're only 8 points in front now, even with all this domination. Carlisle did that better, and then that's just a terrible result in the end. I mean, he's had to try and hook it back to the top of the square. and he's missed everything and out on the fall.
When you're out of form, you're out of form, aren't you? He did it beautifully to actually gather the ball, to own that space and protect the drop of the ball.
Do you think either you or Lee would think of Hurley forward and Carlisle back?
I reckon if Collingwood get another goal, they might have to think about doing something, Essendon, to turn the tide of the game a little bit, because at the moment, again, neither big forwards, or none of the big forwards have really been an influence. So if all of a sudden you get behind on the scoreboard, you've got to do something to change the flow of the game.
Just looking at the crowd shots in the background here as well. Boy, I'd be surprised if this is not a record Anzac Day crowd as Collingwood kick it over the line out of bounds. The record being 94,825. It's got to be pushing to 100 as we get a bird's eye view. It is a bumper crowd. Boundary umpire, poor throw in. And they have been since they've been slingshotting the ball into play in the last 2 years. McCaffrey beams. Bagley got him in the tackle. Coughed it up though. Winderlick went and got the hard one. Look at Blair. Urgent. Side bottom. Terrell Chapman again just put his head over the footy and tried to urge his team into the contest.
Really important contest there by Paul Chapman, because he didn't win the possession, but he stopped that Collingwood swarm. It's the way they got their goals in the second quarter, Lee. They were just onto the ball every time it spilled out. Next player in was a Collingwood player. Chappie just stopped it.
You've got to match that. If one side's doing it, the other side at least has to match that attack and strength at the footy.
Well, when you recruit a Chappie, it's moments like these that you want something. I mean, with all that CV he brings to the club, those big games, those 21 finals, those 3 premierships.
He might only need 1 or 2 opportunities inside forward 50. If he gets a one-on-one contest, you back him in moments like this.
Free kicks are just high from Grundy on Ashby. They've been impressive, the youngsters. Now Hibbert, a natural lefty. Can he deliver inside 50? Carlisle, good mark. No, not paid. Probably just put it down on the end. Had a fair bit of it. Where is that ball? Who's got it? It's a ball up, I think. Well, Carlisle, that was close, wasn't it? Must have just grounded it. He's having a nilly day, Carlisle, isn't he?
He's gone at the footy a little bit the last 5 minutes, and that's the first step back. Just got to keep pushing himself at the footy, ignore his opponent.
Grundy parallels one with the boundary. Maxwell gobbled up in a really, really good tackle from Winderlick. Umpire said it was knocked out in the tackle.
He's Courtney Dempsey, BT, just getting caught those few times. As you said, just a touch off the pace of the game. Goldsack, fantastic chase there. Just getting used to the pace of AFL footy again.
Yeah, there's no question of that, Lingy, that you're right. Umpire Matthew Nichols says this one will go back and will be a Collingwood free here. Thomas went the other way. Gee, they were setting up the players for the opposite tick. Now, here we go. Bagley, short ball, Chapman. Good hands by Frost to get them there without infringing. Young, pursued and corralled by Dempsey. One little one around the corner. Witts does likewise, but here's Fletcher. Trapped the difficult ball and did the job nicely. So Collingwood by 8 points.
So Winderlick and Maxwell. Maxie going down, but not too much in that 8.
A little bit of acting there. It's all right. Grundy's fun in a game of footy.
Grundy's been important. He's really physically imposed himself. Thomas off a step. Hooker got a bad bounce. Swan, chance here. He can run this Swanee. He's going to arch his back and take them on. Gets to the pocket. And yes, he does. Oh, that was huge. Well, talk about seizing the moment.
Well, shades of Buddy Franklin when a couple of years ago when Hooker was doing the chasing, he might have thought, no, it's not Franklin, it's Swan. I can pick him up. But it was a fantastic left footer from a really difficult angle, wasn't it?
Look at a smile from Swanee there, eh?
Yeah. He's happy with that one.
He's going to look at it on the big screen. That's massive.
Well, this is superb, and Cale Hooker has featured a couple of times from that flank, and he won't be liking it.
I'm not sure what kick you'd call that from Swanee. It sort of floated its way through, but
a good one.
But what a big game player he is, and his confidence there on the left foot. I reckon he enjoyed that one, Swanee.
Collingwood's biggest lead, 14 points. The Bombers need to answer quickly. Melcham's got one over the top. It's bouncing towards the major opening. Just be cut off by Frost. So let's have another look at this from the aerial view of Swan. He decides to take Hooker on once realising it was him.
Yeah, just the confidence there. He knew he had him for speed. I think he was looking for options in the middle part of the ground to centre it. But once he didn't have one, he thought, I'll kick that one.
Ryder looking for Windelick. Side bottom of Zaharakis. So both goals in this quarter kicked by Collingwood. We've played 22. We've got just over 5 remaining in the third quarter.
So nothing for Essendon for 42 minutes. Maybe now Ryder. Well, they've scored. It's the first time in 42 minutes they've scored anything. So Gleeson's behind in the second quarter and Ryder's in the third. A 42-minute gap between them. And still, the scoreboard's manageable. I mean, it's a 2-goal game.
It's nothing, Bruce.
No.
But when you get that sort of drought, Bruce, the stadium, the big crowd, everything starts closing in on you. You start panicking a little bit. Somehow Essendon need to manufacture a bit of composure, a bit of confidence with the ball.
Well, side bottom in that spree of goals, kicked 3 goals in 9 minutes, Bruce.
Yep. So someone's got to stand up and do something. Lumumba brought down. Bit lucky, wasn't he? Had it for a while. And a boundary throw in.
Well, we've got a better view of that incident than the umpire, I suspect. If he'd seen the view of the television camera, he might have been ping-pong, letting the ball go in a tackle.
Oh, and that's done some damage to Watson's eye. And McCaffrey says to him, you better go off, mate, because I need a rest and you've got blood in your eye. And forces the blood rule here. Accidental head collision. And Joe Watson will take his time. Here is the incident here. Yeah.
Head clash.
Yeah, quite accidental, brutal game. Look at that. In the super slow-mo. So Chapman replaces Watson.
See, that sort of contact, BT, to that part of the face, you start worrying about eye socket fractures and cheekbone fractures.
I know they go off slow deliberately to give everyone time, but he is walking very slow, and you hope that this is not a fracture of the eye socket or cheekbone.
Yeah, absolutely, BT. We just saw Lumumba there too. He's off with the blood rule because of on the back of his head. He's the one who made head contact with Joe.
Stanton. Bombers desperate for a goal here. Clever flick by Carlisle. Chapman ran into Young, and Chapman was upended. And he lies motionless on the ground. He gets to feet or to all fours, and he felt the full force of that. Chapman is normally the giver. Melcham not paid, or it is paid. So Melcham with the big opportunity for Essendon.
He kicked their most recent goal early in the second quarter.
He did at the 2-minute mark of that second quarter, Melcham. From a 25-metre kick directly in front. Have a look at this. Straight down the middle.
High contact free should have been.
Now as Melcham lines up, it's been 52 minutes since a Bomber goal. He didn't get that the way he wanted. And that is a miss to the left. Now Chapman still looks a little uneasy on his feet as well as he's being marched, I think, by the doctor, trying to drag him off here at the moment. The doctor's saying he needs to come off.
And I'm sure they'll do a concussion test on him. Tim, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just watching Clinton Young. Actually, he's being helped from the ground as well by the Collingwood medico, so he looks in all sorts of trouble.
He is. Hey, Tim, just a quick one on Joe Watson. Do you know the extent of the damage?
No, I can't see it. They've taken him to the doctor, and it looks like they're just trying to bandage him at the moment and assess what the damage might be.
Okay, so they're falling a bit at the moment. Elliott coming out of the back half. Rather as Thomas to Pendlebury to Langdon as they build beams. Waiting. Gets back to Keefe. Goes back to Pendlebury in good hands now.
Well, Bruce, Lee spoke at half-time about the team that gets the momentum and makes the most of it. Essendon have had the momentum in the last 5 minutes or so. They've just failed to capitalise on it. A couple of missed kicks through the middle part of the ground. Obviously, a couple of missed shots at goal could hurt them by the end of the game.
So Chapman finally comes from the ground. Well cut off by Bagley. Gleeson got a high one, then releases it. Howlett on the up. Melsham, good tackle coming from Maxwell. Thomas to Beams. Back to Pendlebury. Pendlebury with that vision. The bouncing ball. Keefe did well. He really did. A bit of style by the big fella. Done the ball.
It was good, and I tell you what, this is just starting to get a bit of spark in it here in terms of aggressiveness and just a little itchy. As you can see, Danaher in the background there. He and McCaffrey, because McCaffrey's got nothing else to do at the moment. Watson off the ground, and Cloak takes his second mark of the game. manoeuvring hooker. Now this is not beyond Travis, but he does need to aim it at the left goal post. He is a little left to right in his kicking. Big kick for the Pies, looking for their third of the quarter. And that is too far across the face. High footy. Ryder was in there, and that'll be a boundary throw-in.
And the Bombers have got a couple of problems too. They've got obviously Chapman and Jobe off the ground at the moment. A couple of players have come to the bench wanting a break, but they can't take one. So there's a few tired Bombers out there as we move towards three-quarter time.
Witts and Ryder. Witts probably just wins. Hurley searching, kept it in. Was it a good move? And then kicks the ball down the line. It was a good move. And Carlisle again competed well there. There's Chapman. Wonder if they have done the concussion test on him, but he copped a mighty whack, didn't he?
Well, they've got a substitute to put on for the 20-minute concussion test, so they can't call that. They just have to see whether he's okay and when he's okay.
Swan, Pendlebury, Swan bursting through Swanee. He's kicked his third. He's made a difference in the premiership quarter. Well, he's become very, very important. His run in that forward 50.
And he's clean hands around the stoppage there, where a couple of people were fumbling a little bit of rush possession. He's just been so clean. Finished with the goal. Chappie looking very sore there. That'll be big if he can't join back in. No sub to replace him.
Because Watson's
Strong just broke the tackle. When you get a little bit fatigued, the tackling drops off too, because just the energy and the strength. But he's got a big bulky body for a midfielder. He's just broke his way through.
Kicked 9 of the last 10 goals here at Collingwood to really get hold of this one. They lead it by 3 goals, so it's still very much in the hands of the Bombers. Dempsey to Hibbert. Back inside to Heppel. Need to use the footy well. So an opportunity here. Merritt inside, trying to get under. It was Danaher. Howard from the boundary line to Danaher. Confronted by Keefe. Great tackle, Keefe. And now Witts to clear the footy in not very convincing style. And Tuvey will kick that one out of bounds on the full. So 30 seconds remain in the third quarter here. And a lot of injury concerns. Chapman on the bench being assessed for concussion, and looking at the doctor when he was doing it, sitting on his left-hand side, he didn't look like he wanted to send him back out there just yet. So a big decision there to be made at three-quarter time. The well-being of Chapman will be at the forefront of the Medicos' decision.
And that's where you don't risk a player, BT. They've got concussion. No matter what the importance of the game, you don't let him back out there to do more damage.
So massive decision there, and they still can't buy a goal, the Bombers. Milsham off a step. Can they take a mark? They can't take a mark. Well, Collingwood have had all the answers. Swanee's kicked 2 fantastic goals in this quarter, and they're going to lead at three-quarter time by 3 straight goals. It's been nearly an hour since Essendon scored a goal. Three-quarter time on Anzac Day. It's Collingwood with the last 9 goals of the match after Essendon got the first 6. It's an 18-point margin. The second, but Swan made the difference really.
And Essendon just didn't quite capitalise on their couple of opportunities. Dane Swan did. That was the difference in the third quarter. But early goals to the Bombers here, and it's well and truly game on.
Well, what have they got, the Bombers? They're down by just 3 goals. Start of the last quarter, and that bounce will be recalled. But can the Bombers get out of trouble from here?
So Bagley, Hibbert and Dempsey, they're the ones that are going to have to give them that bounce off halfback that Simon Goodwin was referring to.
Carlisle to full forward for the Bombers here in the square, deep. Here's Heppel on to Bagley, and now Zaharakis out wide. Howlett the intended target. Maxwell was always going to swap that down with his superior height.
Jim, Nathan Buckley's shown some real faith in the young kid Thomas too. He went into that last centre bounce, so they're not afraid to put a kid out there in a big game right in the middle of the heat.
Tim, I'm not sure if Young will get back out. He's not far from you at the moment. Keep an eye on him, so they may have their problems as well. Ryder to Merritt. Clever handball to Zaharakis. Zaharakis to fall forward. Winderlich, Lumumba. Ball bouncing on Merritt. Gets it back to Winderlich. Winderlich, has been an hour since they kicked a goal. Still with Winderlich. Back to Zach Merritt. He's got it. It's what they needed, and maybe the match as well. Game on.
Well, almost looked like they were going to blow another opportunity. Wasn't really, because the ball went straight through Merritt's hands, and his first chance to actually get the ball just within scoring distance. But Winderlich kept it alive. He just was able to ride the couple of tackles and distribute it back to Merritt.
And good disciplined play by Zaharakis. Didn't go for the shot at goal, didn't go for the glory. Just the team thing, top of the goal square. Essendon manufactured the goal.
Well, last time Essendon kicked the goal, they went to a 37-point advantage. This time, they're 2 goals down here. That goal coming in the first 2 minutes of this final quarter and is crucial in the outcome of this game, obviously. McCaffrey in the middle. There is Thomas, the sub who's been activated for Collingwood, on the lead. And a hold by Fletcher. We'll see Witts have a look here from 30 metres directly in front.
Well, this one's shot's going to come from an unlikely source. Fletcher's been on top of that matchup all day, really. I mean, Witts has been playing as that sort of spare ruckman forward, but Fletcher's had him well under control. But just hang on to the left arm. Yeah, free kicks there.
No goals this year for Witts. And he comes from 30. Tiny little bit of angle. Gee, didn't take a lot of time over it. And a miss.
Be interesting to watch here, BT. Simon Goodwin said he wanted the players to be brave in this quarter. It started with Hibbert there kicking to himself and just playing on quickly.
Push out.
Free kick to the Bombers as well. Whether or not they're brave from half back now, whether or not they take the corridor, just play on.
So you're saying they can't play safely?
You can't be safe at all. Can't go backwards. Got to be taking the game on as much as they can. Looks like they're keen to do it.
So Heppel gets it to centre wing.
And that includes a little bit of centre corridor ball movement, doesn't it? Take the punt of trying to bring the ball back inside as much as you can when those half chances present themselves.
Danaher and Ryder double teaming there. Heppel, feel like his run will be important in creativity in this last quarter. Beams a lot of the ball again today, and a boundary throw in. So just a couple of goals and they're behind in it. So Essendon with that drought-breaking goal at the start. McCaffrey and Watson side by side for much of the day. Watson with what looked to be a potential serious eye injury, but good news back out there. Stanton, Beams. And Beams did well because he didn't kick it out on the fall and he gained a few metres.
You watch from these stoppages at the moment. Essendon is setting up the space closest to the boundary line. Both Heppel and Stanton just swarming onto the footy on the boundary line side of the contest where the space is at the moment. Really good setups by Essendon.
Ryder. Beams. Clear use of the footy on his non-preferred side. Making Witts jump here. Now Dempsey's in between 3 Collingwood players. Ball just come in and gave him a ripper. Hip and shoulder. He bounces up though, Dempsey. Welcome back to the top level, Courtney Dempsey.
Dodge on the ball. On the ball.
Free kick Collingwood, Thomas.
The players have a great ability when a player dodges and will try and roll him over onto his back. It's almost a certain holding the ball then.
With Courtney Dempsey in that situation, I think getting the free kick for holding the ball was probably the best scenario. If had it spilt out, 3 Collingwood players there, they were away, they would have run it the length of the ground.
These stoppages become really critical at this part of the ground for both teams.
Well, this one right in front of you, Tim. Collingwood's end of the ground marginally. Here's Hurley. We thought that perhaps he could have gone forward here. Carlisle, sharp hands, and initially from Watson, Heppel involved, and now Chapman as well. So he kicks long, looking for Danaher. Frost did well to keep his eyes on the footy. Danaher recovered first, was immediately tackled in the second attempt by Frost, and that was really well done, because Danaher was out the back door and gone if he didn't.
I don't know about you guys. I feel like Essendon are right in this. I really feel like they've got a big chance here. Collingwood have dominated for a couple of quarters. Chappie gets off the ground. Nick's goal massive here. Watson doing the roving. Heppel so productive early in this quarter. Back to Merritt. Back to Stanton. Didn't look off a step. Blazing to fall forward. Elliott underneath. Doesn't quite take the mark. Elliott with the switch to Lumumba. Gets him and Heredia's away. Running backs. Stopping and propping and coming back inside to Maxwell. So often those two players have been a key off halfback over the years as Chapman in all sorts of bother there. Maybe the foot being strapped up now.
Yeah, I think from head to toe he's in trouble, Bruce. So he's been knocked from pillar to post. Paul Chapman today. Frost with an enticing handball for Keith. On to Tuvey. Loves the left boot. Here's Blair. Been a quietish day for Blair today. Kick forward to Beans. Beans in good position here. White comes to the pocket. Swan's there as well. He's already kicked 3, Swan. He gathers. He'll want another. Tries to take him on. Got rid of the tackler. Back to Cloak. Cloak around the corner. Misses. 14-point Collingwood lead. And Chapman there. That was just seconds before he came off a moment ago.
So Fletcher going wide. Hooker, good mark against the smaller beams. Heppel again, the one they're using all the time. To Danaher. Watson's just come off the interchange. Can he get it onto him? He does. Now he's got the run of Ashby inside. Decides not to use him. A bounce. And then Watson, beautifully done. Inside and finds Merritt. Well,
took him on inside. That was the secret. He actually came back into the centre corridor. It opens up the whole forward line, then used it beautifully.
He used it well, just lowered his eyes, didn't he, Lee? Didn't bomb away long, just waited for the lead to come at him. Jackson Merritt presented. Joe Watson hit him beautifully.
Not sure if he's got the length, the youngster. We're about to find out. It looks good. Has it got there? It's a goal. The Bombers are coming back hard. They're in, I reckon right now they're even money. You just feel like there's a big turn here.
Fantastic game of footy. There's the ebbs and flows, and talk about modern football being so much about momentum. Essendon have got it at the moment, but what they've managed to do is make the most of it. Kick their couple of goals. They've got to make sure if they can hold it for another 5 or 10 minutes, they still take those chances and they kick all of those goals.
Been a lot of miracles to come back in the last quarter.
This is the first centre bounce that Pendlebury's been in this last quarter as well.
This goal line camera just gives a good view, doesn't it? Goal line camera makes it done, so he's the keep it's over the line.
Well, what about that? Bombers have kicked 2 goals in the last quarter, and it's the Merritt brothers that have got 1 each. Watson again. Bruce said he sensed something for the Bombers. They're 8 down. Here's Gleeson from inside 45 to get it back to 2 points. Marked on the line by Langdon.
It didn't work out. It wasn't a goal there for Gleeson, but what about Joe Watson's vision? With players everywhere around him, all sorts of traffic, to hit that handball outside, he is a star, that bloke.
And he laced out Merritt earlier, didn't he, when he went inside? So Watson becoming very important. Chapman, back to you-know-who. Good tackle, though. Young Gleeson. Well done, Goldsack. Collingwood have got to rise again now. It's been an epic, hasn't it? It really has. It has that classic written all over it from the word go, this match. Chappie picks himself up for one more battle. Collingwood by 8 points. Quick kick away from Witts. A 1-on-1 and now a 2-on-2. Swan so important.
Yeah, good kick to Cloak. The Bombers have risen. Now can the Pies follow into White. White, good body position. Gee, it was a good attempt at spoil there from Hurley without infringing with a knock of the arms. Surely he's got to knock it out. He does to Goldsack. Here's Swan on his left. Didn't get enough bend on the ball. And the Bombers live to fight another day.
Dane Swan's proving to be dangerous in that forward half of the ground, almost playing permanently as a forward midfielder. And he's winning the ball down there, presenting opportunities, and of course he's kicked those 3 goals. Great one-on-one contested player.
So the Bombers really pressing here. This man's been involved in everything in the last quarter. Watson, handball wide. Gleeson had a look, didn't go with the body. This way and that away for Elliott.
this game's got everything at the moment. Just the shifts and swings in the momentum that we talk about. Jamie Elliott, great finish, under pressure, going away from the goals. The ability to just draw that ball back, fantastic skill.
If you're going to kick a goal, that's exactly the spot you want to kick it in front of the adoring fans.
Great finish there. It was just a few percent. The one before that, Gleeson tried to knock the ball into space and then run onto it, but unfortunately when you don't knock it into space, the opposition take possession, and that was just a slight mistake in technique that opened up the Collingwood chance.
Fabulous goal, fairly real steadier for the Pies. Ryder and Heppel trying. Well done, Pendlebury, brilliant to Thomas, to centre half forward. Cloak got a difficult bounce, played it in front. Ashby stood up pretty well. Cloak and Blair both hit him hard, and the ball up.
Just stand up.
Well done, young Ashby.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Straight back.
Well, the Bombers can't concede another here, you wouldn't think. Quick kick away by Hibbert, didn't get far. Little toe poke forward by Thomas. Dempsey's been a bit shaky, that's better. Gets to Fletcher.
Right, the Bombers are out here now. Hooker sees Hibbert. He's on his preferred left side, little chiseler. This is where they're going up the corridor. Merritt, look at this, they can open them up through here. Hurley takes a strong mark. He's got Howard on long and deep. Howard can go. I don't think Frost has got much left. Inside to Carlisle. Here's Toovey. Was that a game-saving tackle from Toovey? The side bottom gets crunched from Chapman. A run-down tackle when Carlisle's on his way.
And BT, he made up about 50 metres there to get to lay that tackle on Carlisle. Outstanding football, Alan Toovey.
Someone said, how did Toovey play the game? You'd show them that, wouldn't you? It was just brilliant. It's typical of him. Good hands from Thomas to Grundy. Maybe they've withstood the challenge to Langdon, but there's a lot of footy left. Hurley. Combative Hurley. Not a great handle. Heppel. Back to Hurley. Still with Hurley. Little gift to young Merritt. Zach Merritt with Elliott. Well played, Jamie Elliott. A couple of young guns who both kicked goals in the last quarter and a boundary throw-in. Well, they were in a moment ago. Howlett's handball. Carlisle was always loping, wasn't he? He was never the right guy to go to when you had to be quick off the mark. Grundy wins it. Watson in close. Beams and Watson. Ball not out yet. And McCaffer and the ball up. Hasn't Watson imposed himself early in this last quarter?
Come down the back here.
Well, the Bombers staring at 3 straight losses in a row. Collingwood looking for 3 wins in a row here.
Ryder in the face.
Paddy Ryder's free. So this will be a deep entry. Now, they're all smalls down there. There's not one tall for the Bombers. Windelick's here. He's the target. Does well with the one hand. Couldn't quite reel it in. Now Langdon. Dangerous handball. Side bottom says no. Can't afford to take possession.
I think when Langdon hand passed it on the goal line, I think I should have considered this one. His teammate protected him though.
He would have had his heart in his mouth, wouldn't it, as that one got looped up. Looking after his teammate there, side bottom.
Still only 13 points. You do feel that the Bombers need to get the next one, and they are pressing. There's Dempsey to Stanton. Stanton keeps it alive. Dangerously to Zaharakis. And side bottom fell awkwardly. Gets up. Zaharakis realised he was injured. Tries to thread the needle, and the mark's been taken by Windelick. He's a certainty to run around on the right here. Windelick will take 2 steps before Maxwell arrives in his attempt to smother. He checks the mark. There's the steps, and it's to the very near side, a minor score only. So a 2-goal Collingwood lead. That man there, Bomber Thompson, involved in playing and coaching role for the first time in these Anzac Day games. He was club captain in 95, but he missed through injury, Bruce. And then again in 96, when he wasn't captain, he also missed.
And he's done a few things in between, Booter.
He has.
It's been a remarkable match, really, hasn't it? I mean, the scoreline just incredible here. White has kicked a couple of important goals. Elliott, talk about important goals. He's in this last quarter. Wicks versus Fletcher. Fletcher holding off. Free kick to Fletcher, surely. So the advantage given. Dempsey, they're in here. To Howlett, to Stanton, dangerous kick. Probably should have gone all the way. Chapman looking, handball out wide. Zaharakis can kick a goal. He's usually good, but he doesn't get enough on it. Keith, that's a poor finish by Zaharakis. He should have nailed it.
Took his time, but he probably just took a bit too much time. He lost his running momentum and really just kicked at 40 metres when he had to kick at 50.
Yeah, got it high off the instep as well. Didn't make good connection, as Lee mentioned. And now Collingwood steady through Tuvey. Goes down the line, looking for Cloak, who's come a long way to find this footy. And Ashby sensed the boundary line was a good result for the Bombers to lock it in their half.
We shouldn't forget either that Young hasn't been able to come back on, so they'd already activated their sub, which means they're down to the 2 rotations, Collingwood, which does have an effect on the players and a game that's been played at this sort of pace.
Absolutely. Not a lot of rotations to play with these days. Here's Stanton around the corner. Chapman in good position. He went back when many wouldn't have. The handball to Watson was a little too far out in front. But it was brilliant from Chapman. And now Thomas in amongst it all. Into open territory in the middle of the ground here.
Huge footy there, wasn't it? Well done, Hibbert. To Gleeson. Had Heppel, decides to go to the pocket. He's got young Merritt. Gee, the Merritts have played a big part in the last quarter. Young Zach and Jackson have kicked a goal each. And this young man who dobbed one from 50 a moment ago. Just feel right now it's been played on Essendon's terms.
They're just going that little bit the stronger, but it's been so hard to score that it's one thing to be controlling the game, it looks a bit, certainly a separate thing to get it on the scoreboard.
Gee, that's a good kick. That young boy, he's just hit the post at the end. It looked home, didn't it?
He thought it was home too. I think he was heading off to celebrate that one, just faded away late. Lee, you're spot on. As much as Essendon have had all the play in this last 5 or 10 minute patch, they haven't managed to kick the goals. They haven't managed to poke their noses in front. I think that if Collingwood could just take it the length of the ground and kick one more, it just might kill off Essendon's momentum altogether.
White, strong mark at halfback. Down the line. Still a lot of time left in the game. Just under 8 minutes here to go in this encounter, which has been terrific to watch, and with just a 10-point margin is by no means over here. Huge crowd here today. 91,731. What a beauty. Beans ball. And a free kick, Collingwood, advantage paid. Swan can go inside 50. The one-out battle here. Cloak and Hooker, Hooker and Cloak. Hooker won it out. Hibbert ran into the gold sack tackle.
Both of the sides, the big forwards haven't done much, but the ability to kick the ball long to your big target, 20 metres out, particularly late in the game, and then get your ground-level players to swarm to the fall of the ball.
So real chance here for Collingwood. Ball, well done. Terrific tackle coming from Stan. Swanee's got 4. Well, I think Lee made the point. He's already played Lee forward half, second half, hasn't he, Swanee?
Yeah, no, some of his ball that he's been getting up there, 24 disposals for the game isn't prolific by his normal standards, but when you get 4 goals, that becomes more important than another dozen disposals, and he's mainly been, his best work has been in the Collingwood forward 50.
Well, Pendlebury got him back in it, and Swanee's actually winning it for him. That's how it's worked out, isn't it?
Well, the Bombers have 4 misses at one end, and Swan does that at the other. 4, number 4.
Just so clever he is. Brilliant in a contest at winning it. So clever around the goals. Such a weapon to be able to send forward.
So now the Bombers really have to take big-time risks here now. Hurley, high footy, here he is. Swan waiting to see what the bounce does, and he'd be happy with the boundary line. Look at the Collingwood fans getting involved. Don't they love the tattooed Dane Swan? Lyle third up over the back. Heppel got some clean footy. Long footy. Danaher just got banged out of the way by Frost. Was it too early? Was the ball within 5 metres? Not so sure. Thomas looking for and finding McCaffer. McCaffer's got to beat 2 and he does. And then tries to get it to side bottom. Zaharakis, Bagley and Fletcher all combining. Chapman with the flight again. And now an opportunity here for Ashby. Driving kick to Danaher. Danaher marks.
Got a good leg, Danaher. Not beyond him, this. Not beyond him. Oh, the bounce. And now Langdon banging it out. Stanton couldn't quite hold it. Gets a second crack. Grundy onto him. Swan and everything at the moment. Stanton onto Swan. Merritt, little one back to Ryder. Ryder's handball clever enough. And out of play. So was it within 5 metres or not?
I think he more held his ground. He just got no downward leg strength, Danaher. He gets shoved out of the road very easily at this point of his career.
Ball certainly wasn't within 5 metres. It's whether the push was too much. Here's Howlett. High footy. Collingwood take their feet here. Although, in the end, a desperate lunge by Elliott to see it through.
In the end, a great spoil, BT, but gee, it was risky to, instead of taking the mark, to just knock that one through.
I think he misjudged the flight and got a bit too far under it. So there's the scene. In front of 91,731. Collingwood by 15 with 6 minutes remaining. Still enough time here. Touched off the boot. This won't be paid a mark. McCaffer out the back. A little kick just to gain some meterage, and he'd be happy with that.
He's done a good job. Had an early goal against him, McCaffer, didn't he? When everything was going right for the Bombers. Watson certainly impacted early in the last quarter. Stanton was running right earlier. Witts wins the tap. Now Watson, well done.
Fantastic again.
Ryder, Stanton in trouble. Gets it back. Dempsey back to Bagley, and then Bagley out wide. Winderlich, can he turn his man? But he's got to get the footy first. Goldsack, terrific. Well played. Langdon's been good in this last quarter. Lumumba. Oh, he did the Brazilian little waltz, didn't he? Brilliant, Heredia.
Oh, it did. It was fantastic, and he got himself. He slithered out of trouble, and here's Grundy now. Collingwood want to go here, and they've got a golden opportunity. Langdon sends them inside the cloak. He pulled the jukes.
Great running by Langdon. He was involved in that outnumbered. I think he gave the first hand pass to Lumumba. He's just kept coming downfield, and he's the one who delivered the ball to Cloak. Great running.
So Cloak lines up. A little left. 16-point advantage now with Collingwood. 4 minutes and 11 seconds remain with Meltram in the back pocket.
Well, how brave can you be now? I mean, it's a poor kick. Elliott cuts it off. It's been a great effort by Collingwood. I mean, it's not done and dusted, but they were 6 goals behind and they were rattled, and yet they've been able to force their way back. Off Pendlebury early and then through Swan and side bottom. Witts, well done. Harry's never kicked a goal on the Anzac Day, and well, still not quite. Merritt picks himself up, and that looks sore. Dead arm.
He's been terrific, young Merritt.
Yeah.
Both Merritts have been today. You just feel that those couple of opportunities that Essendon wasted in the middle part of this quarter is what's going to hurt them.
They've got to kick 3 goals now, Bombers, in 3.5 minutes. Over the top of the footy there was Ashby, Meltram, now Howlett. Heppel, they've got to get it into the middle of the ground. They can't keep going down the boundary here. This kick's got to go inside from Merritt. Once again outside, and here's Danaher out of bounds on the full. They must surely go inside. Maxwell now short to Beams, and remember, Collingwood were 37 points down at the 7-minute mark of the second quarter in this game, and they now lead by 17. Beams to Cloak, and Cloak marks overhead. 9 possessions, 6 marks today for Travis. High footy, White's there, so is Grundy. Off hands, and now the Bombers Hurley keeps it alive, realises they have to take every opportunity now.
He's exhausted heavily. He's run his heart out in this last quarter. Just going forward, I mean, if the Bombers lose today, they're 2 and 4. Carlisle forward, still a problem, I think. Hurley down back, no worries, but structurally, things to think about.
A couple of important players to come back, of course, Bruce. We've got Goddard, David Myers, Heath Hocking to come back in, but certainly not the start they wanted or the start that I expected.
Well, I think after round 3, we all thought they were top 4, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Suddenly they're out of touch with the top 8 after today.
And the way they played that first quarter today, they were a top 4 side. But it's the ability to sustain it for the whole game, which Collingwood have managed to do for the last 3 quarters.
Chapman, side bottom, so important in the first half.
Here's Lumumba trying to get through heavy traffic. That one's out of bounds on the full. On the other hand, Collingwood looking at 3 consecutive wins here, and they set up a clash with Carlton next week, Lingy.
Oh, wouldn't they love to knock off the Blues, inflict a little bit more pain to their start of the season? And Collingwood are well and truly back playing their best football too. It's that swarming pressure, numbers through the midfield.
Let's not forget the Collingwood losses were to 2 really good teams, Fremantle and Geelong. Teams they expect to be thereabouts at the end. Here's Witts driving footy. Grundy!
He's a good young player. He had a really good battle with Ryan today. I don't know whether either of them have actually been decisive. It's just been a good battle, but if he can go and take a big jump, maybe kick a goal up forward, it might be just the thing that finishes Essendon off completely.
You might want to give some thought to an Anzac Day medalist, Lingy and Lee and Tim. I'd be interested in your thoughts. Here is Grundy from 50 out. He's threaded the needle so superbly. That is a monster kick from Grundy.
He's got such a presence physically too, Leo. I mean, he's such a competitor. His second efforts, and what a powerful bit of play. Takes the pack mark and goes back from 50 and dobs it.
Yeah, you want your big men to stand up like that. The ball goes inside forward 50. He was competing against a slightly shorter bloke. He stood up, took the mark. But then to have the maturity and the skill to go back and slot it from 50 in front of all the Collingwood supporters, he loved that one.
Third biggest crowd between these 2 teams ever. Only 1995 and last year surpasses it. And it has been a great match. Collingwood are home now. They've kicked 12 of the last 14 goals in the match. And still the Ryder-Grundy battle carries on.
It does indeed, Lingy. Sorry, I won't ask you about the medal. What about you, Lee? Because I know you're giving the votes, Lingy.
Yes.
Carlisle marched strongly. Anyone in mind, Lee?
I have to go for Swan. I mean, just the fact that he's a midfield ball getter and he's kicked his 4 goals, that to me is maybe the most significant contribution of them all.
What about you, Tim, down there at ground level? Who do you think?
I'm with Swan. He's been the game breaker here.
Lingy, of course, one of 3 that are voting on the Anzac Day medal. Here's Jake Carlisle. Rovings range, the boy out of the Calder Cannons. Footy Factory misses well and truly to the right, and Swan comes up and goes bang, and Bomber wonders.
And he's had a lot to say about Carlisle this week.
He has.
Thinking right now.
And I wonder whether he's going to make it next week. Jakey Carlisle. Lumumba. There he is. Listen to the fans. They absolutely love him. 91,731 have come today to see Collingwood win by 23 points.
Ships
for the 7th time in the last 9 years, Collingwood win on Anzac Day. I was just looking at Swanee there. I don't think, Lee, any club's got two as good as Swan and Pendlebury.
No, well, certainly Day wasn't. He's a high possession getter, Swan, but it wasn't the prolific high possession getter today. It was just his ability to create goals when goals were so hard to create. And the reason Collingwood had 97 tackles and Essendon 81. I mean, when teams tackle that ferociously and that well, it's very hard to flow the ball and kick big scores. You had to earn your kicks today.
It was the difference after quarter time for Collingwood too. They just absolutely dominated them in the tackling.
Let's go down to Hamish on the ground. Hamish.
The President of the Victorian Return and Services League, Vietnam veteran, Major General David McLaughlin, to present the Anzac Day Medal to the player whose conduct and play during the game best exemplifies the Anzac spirit. Skill, courage in adversity, self-sacrifice, teamwork and fair play. The winner of the Anzac Day Medal is Dane Swan of the Collingwood Football Club.
First of all, to Essendon, we know it's an absolute honour to play on this day and to play youths every year. It's very special, and thanks for putting up for us today. It's another great contest. We're just really lucky to come out with a win. And to everyone here, we know it's such a privilege and honour to play on this day. It's something we never forget, and we hold close to our hearts. So to everyone who fought for us and held for our country, thank you very much, and have a good one.
Well played, Dane. Prior to the presentation of the Anzac Day Trophy, let us first acknowledge the performance of the Essendon Football Club, who were gallant in defeat today. Would you now please welcome Scott Pendlebury and Nathan Buckley to receive the Anzac Day Trophy from David McLaughlin. This is a perpetual trophy provided by the RSL in dedication to the memory of those footballers who served in times of war. The names of VFL footballers known to have sacrificed their lives during active service are inscribed on the trophy. Scotty?
Thank you. First off, I want to thank the crowd, both team supporters. It's a great turnout every year, so I appreciate you getting out. To Essendon, bad luck. I thought the game was played great spirits, really hotly contested, so well done and good luck for the rest of the year. And to our boys, well done, well fought out, and yeah, thank you.
So Pendlebury there, I think Bucks is going to speak, so we'll go down to Bucks.
First, I'd like to thank all the fans for coming out. It's obviously a fantastic day, a day where we celebrate how fortunate we are to be living the lives we live in the country that we live in. Thanks for Essendon for a fantastic contest, came out of the blocks early and really tested us. Thought we showed a lot of ticker as a club today, and it's another opportunity to grow for us. And congratulations to the AFL to have been able to put this together. It's a great day and we look forward to continuing it and being a part of it for a long time to come. Thank you.
Well done. So Pendlebury and Swan, 4 of the last 5 Anzac medals between the two of them, and for much of the day I reckon Pendlebury probably had his nose in front of Swanee.
Yeah, you really could have either one of them today. They were both terrific. Pendlebury was the one who lifted them in that second quarter after Essendon jumped the Pies in that first term.